Draft weekend is here, and we have all of the info that you need to dominate your friends, family, coworkers, all of them. Today, we've got 10 league winners that we cannot leave our drafts without, 6 busts that we are avoiding at all costs. And if you want to win big this year in fantasy football, this is the show for you.
Every week, a new headline drops. Game day fire and sideline shocks. Oh, soft fan feed. This. Oh, welcome to the show. We're bringing the heat. No suits, no scripts, just takes from the street. Every week, we break down the squads. Real fans. This is the fan feed pod.
Yo, what is up, everybody? Trey, what's up?
What's up, man?
I'm Cameron. We're back. Really excited for this show.
Yeah,
Dude. And can I just say, we are going to beat this technical issue problem sometime here in the soon future.
Yeah.
If any of you out there are podcast producers just waiting for your shot, waiting for your chance, boy, do I have the opportunity of a lifetime for you.
It's preseason for us too.
That's
right. Yeah. So we're getting all this squared away before next week. It's week 0 for the NFL right now.
That's right. That's right. Trey's running with the ones right now, and I'm running with the 2s and fighting for a roster spot.
And we'll see how that goes.
So like I said earlier, today we are going to be talking about our fantasy football league winners, guys that we are targeting, and busts who we think is going to have not a great year. Really excited for the show. We're not a fantasy show first. We're a football show first and foremost. But, you know, as fans, fantasy football has just become such a big, massive part of fantasy.
Yeah.
And I'm just really excited to talk about this because, you know, obviously I love fantasy football.
Yeah.
And you've been in a couple fantasy football leagues the last couple days.
Yeah. We actually had our 2 drafts. I had 2 drafts on Saturday.
Love it.
It was a full day of
at the same
football.
time.
No.
Okay,
It was one was in the early afternoon, and one of them was at night. That went into well into the morning. So
Dang.
Yeah. So
Dang.
that
Well
was
into the morning.
crazy. Yeah,
That's
pretty
crazy.
crazy.
Y'all play with any weird scoring settings or anything?
That second one we do.
Yeah.
The first one is like a standard, full point PPR in that first league. But the second one, there's like kickers for 50-yard completions, quarterback goes over 400 yards, like that sort of thing. But man, excited to talk about some of these rising stars,
dude.
But quick before we get into that, one of the conversations we had, I got grilled for this. I don't know if
that we had.
No.
Okay.
At one of my fantasy drafts this weekend. Tell me what you think. Is there a proper way to dress a hot dog? Like the food, a hot dog?
Just cover it. Just smother it.
Okay.
That's how a hot dog's
In what?
eaten.
Okay.
Ketchup, mustard, relish, onions. Diced onions is top tier.
But like anything you want, right?
Yeah, whatever you want.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
So I put ketchup and relish on my hot dog. I was like, that's all I want right now.
No.
And 2 of the guys in my draft immediately jumped down my throat, and they were like, "What are you doing?" What and I'm asking, what do you mean? What am I doing? I'm getting my hot dog ready. I'm going to eat a hot dog. And they're like, the only way that you can dress a hot dog is putting mustard on it. Like you can't do anything else if you don't have mustard on it. And I'm like, what the heck are you talking about? And everyone else in the league was like, what are you guys talking about? And now one of them is from Ohio and one of them is from Chicago. And so I don't know if that makes a difference. Like maybe it's like a Midwestern thing where
just un-American. That's what it is.
Well, see, they think I'm un-American. And that's actually a word that they used in our fantasy chat today was that it's un-American to not put mustard on your hot dog.
So they're just mad that you didn't put mustard on it.
Yeah.
That's
and
so
they said the best way to do it is just to put mustard on it by itself. And I tried it today. I actually did that, and I sent him a text. And I was like, it was bad. Like it was so disgusting. I would much rather have like a whole bunch of toppings on the hot dog.
Of course.
I don't know, man.
Mustard's definitely one of the worst condiments.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not gonna lie.
Oh my gosh, I agree.
So on my, not to spend too much time on this, but on my vacation, so my sister brought her now fiance. Shout out brother Ed. What up, brother Ed? Where me and Ed are drafting in a fantasy league together right now, which is fun. But her fiance Ed eats mustard on everything. like legitimately everything.
Like pizza.
We got pizza.
That's disgusting.
We literally got pizza.
That's gross.
And he doused it in mustard. I mean, so there are people out there that all they want to do is put mustard on everything.
You guys are weird.
And I can't stand for that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So you guys tell us how to dress your hot dogs and in the
Yeah.
you let us
What's
know.
your favorite topping? Leave it
Yeah.
in the comments.
Yeah, and tell me if I'm weird for not putting mustard on a hot dog.
That's right.
It's really weird. Anyways, yeah. So shout out Victor, shout out Andrew. Hope you guys are listening. They're listening.
They
listen to the
definitely
show.
are.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
definitely are. And they're cringing right now.
Yeah, that's right.
Because I just said mustard was a bottom tier
They're gonna give us
condiment.
a
But
thumbs
you know
down
what?
on YouTube.
Whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Once again, Fan Feed Network here. If you guys haven't already, go ahead and like this video.
Please.
Subscribe. Throw the notification bell on. We're going live with all these shows, and once the season kicks off, which next Thursday, right?
Yep.
Next Thursday will be our first regular season show.
Yep.
We'll be 2 shows a week. You got to have those notifications on. You got to be subscribed to stay up to date. If you navigate to our YouTube page, look in the live tab to see all of our live videos. And yeah, follow us on social, on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, all of them at Fan Feed Network. But yeah, let's get into it.
Cool,
you ready?
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to start today talking about some news, just some of the latest stuff. And there's a ton of stuff going on right now, guys. There's a ton of cuts going on right now. We don't have time to go through every single cut. Some notables that I saw today: Damian Martinez, a 7th round running back for the Seahawks, got cut in favor of the better Boise State running back, George Halani. So that's crazy. Damian Martinez is going to get snagged up really quick. Deontay Johnson once again finds himself without a home.
Your guy.
My guy. I love Deontay Johnson.
Yeah.
I just wish he would settle down and come back to Pittsburgh. We could really use him.
He probably wishes that too, honestly.
I'm sure he does. Yeah. That's how most receivers are once they leave Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Because literally their careers just crash. I'm really hoping that doesn't happen to Pickens, and I don't think it will. But I don't know. Something about the Steelers. They just know how to kick these guys to the curb right before they go crazy. Terry McLaurin been holding in all of camp and finally signed a new 3-year deal. $96 million. It's over $30 million a year. That's
I heard that it was just 1 year, 30 million.
no 3 years, 96 mil is what I saw.
He actually got that?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep. Pretty impressive. Trey Hendrickson, the
sorry,
other guy.
Sorry. That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yep. Trey
I'm
Hendrickson,
sorry.
the other
Jumped ahead.
guy who got signed, got basically a pay raise for this
like
year.
14 million extra.
Yeah.
dollars.
So
Yeah.
his deal currently is 3 years, 95 million total.
Yeah.
But that's including a 30 million this year, fully guaranteed. But next year there's no fully guaranteed money, which is just
as a Bengals
peak
fan,
Bengals.
you have to hate that. Like as a Bengals fan,
peak Bengals,
right? Because you're like, okay, that's a band-aid until this exact thing happens next year, and then he's gone.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's what's going to happen. It's just, I don't know.
It's like it's basically like putting the franchise tag on a guy.
Exactly.
Maybe giving him a little bit of a raise.
And I do, that's what I was going to say. I do think the franchise tag is probably less than $30 million, but and maybe that's why they do that. But
yeah.
Real quick, we got a comment on YouTube. They're asking us just because we're talking about fantasy. Would you trade Hurts and Andrews for Burrow and McBride?
Hurts and Andrews for Burrow and McBride, 100%.
100%.
Yeah.
Make that trade.
I love the Burrow McBride stack, especially week 17, which is championship week for most people.
Yeah.
The Bengals and Cardinals play against one another.
Yeah.
That Bengals defense is atrocious.
So bad.
Joe Burrow is going to have to put up,
45 points.
Yeah, by himself.
Yeah. Every game.
Yeah, Burrow, McBride, and McBride, I think, is a dark horse to be tight end 1 this year. So 100%, I would do that.
Yeah. Take that trade.
Yeah.
If somebody's offering that to you, take it. Yeah, absolutely.
I love that. Keep bringing in those questions. If you got any other fantasy questions, we'll try to answer them
we'll
live.
interrupt what we're talking about to answer your question.
100%.
Yeah.
And before we go on with more news, because I kind of forgot this,
Yep.
Thinking with all the technical difficulties, my brain was like scrambled eggs. Y'all look at this. Look at this thing.
Dude, crazy.
I don't know if you could see it very well.
Custom
this is our
made.
own custom-made Fan Feed Network helmet. Right beside that, Trey, hold that thing up.
Yeah, look at this.
Look at that.
It's got the
Fan Feed Network
logo.
water bottle.
Man, it's got our logo on the back.
That thing is
so
sweet.
cool, man.
That bottle is actually going.
Let's go to Brian in Pennsylvania. He won a giveaway. So you guys follow us on all the socials. We're doing random giveaways throughout the year. And yeah, he got a jersey and a shirt. He got Cooper DeJean jersey and he
Kelly
got
Green.
Midnight Green
Or
t-shirt.
Midnight Green.
Yeah, and he's getting this really cool FanFeed Pod water bottle. So follow us, subscribe to us, because you never know when that's going to happen. It was just something that was put out there on our socials, and they said, you know, you're going to give away this stuff. So just wanted to show you guys that.
And we're going to shout out our friend Curtis Wells. Curtis Wells has helped us get this thing up off the ground.
Yeah.
Man of many talents.
Yeah.
Shout out to Curtis. He's right now managing our social media. So if you see any of our shorts, any of our Instagram reels, anything like that, that's Curtis.
Yeah.
So shout out Curtis. If you like what you see up here, leave a comment and say thank you to Curtis.
Yeah.
Because
maybe he'll make you one.
We definitely are.
Cool.
All right, back to news.
Yeah.
No, it's okay. This is good. Jags beat veteran running back to be traded in Jacksonville. So that could be Travis Etienne, could be Tank Bigsby. We've talked about this backfield a lot this year.
Yeah.
But really, to me, this just opens up the door for Bashal Tutin, who I've been banging the drum for
weeks,
ever since we started.
Yeah.
So this is pretty exciting
Yeah,
for me.
Very cool. Very cool.
Plus, Etienne going to a team like the Cowboys, who desperately need running back help, or the Texans, would just be such a blessing for those teams and for Etienne as a fantasy value. Bigsby as well. Either one is just super cool. Wide receiver Jauan Jennings, as you know, he's been holding in, kind of, but also he's got this ankle injury that, you know, people can't tell whether he's just saying he's got an ankle injury to stay out of practice or what. But his status for the season is apparently in jeopardy, rumored to maybe hit the short-term IR to start the season if his contract negotiations don't progress.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's where I think it is. I don't know that he's actually injured as much as it is, you know, he doesn't want to play, and they're, you know, his doctors on his side are saying he can't play. So that's what I think's happening. You know, we'll come back to that in a little bit. But yeah, pretty crazy. San Francisco, man, their receiving core is
decimated.
Yeah, decimated.
Yeah, I heard that Jauan Jennings' agent looks a lot like his doctor. So pretty interesting. Pretty interesting there. More 49ers news. 49ers trade for Brian Robinson. B-Rob.
Yeah.
This is a big deal, as now Brian Robinson has officially been moved away from the Commanders, as was rumored last week. This opens up the pathway for Bill. So much, and Austin Eckler. I mean, I think Eckler is a great under the radar value right now. But Bill
Rodriguez.
Yeah. Rodriguez is good. I mean, the whole backfield, they're going to use all of them.
Right.
I think I said that then last week or the week before show, but they really did a great job using 4 backs most of the year last year. But it's very apparent that they really like this guy, Bill.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's not just this hype drumbeat thing. You know, this is how you hit on a guy like Jordan Howard a few years ago, who was a fantasy stud for one season and then disappeared off the face of the earth.
That was like almost 10 years ago.
Was it 10 years ago?
So
I'm an old man.
I feel like it was so long ago.
I was all over Jordan Howard. I mean, Pacheco's another one. Pacheco was a late guy that got steam in camp and ended up getting the starting position and really hasn't looked back other than an injury last year.
Right.
You know, we'll see what happens, but these guys have a lot of value. Speaking of upset receivers, Jakobi Meyers of the Raiders has requested a trade. He apparently saw what Terry McLaurin got, and he thinks he deserves something more too.
What do you think?
I think Jakobi Meyers is one of the most underrated receivers in the league.
I actually do. I do too. I think he's very good. I don't think he's wide receiver 1 money.
No.
I don't think he's Terry McLaurin level.
No.
But he's good. He's a very good receiver. I mean, obviously he's you know, he's the Las Vegas Raiders #1, but on any other team, you know, he's 2 or 3.
It's a very interesting trend that I'm just like now noticing is these receivers that like McLaurin's borderline like a wide receiver 1. I mean, just because of last year's season. But still, like with all the top receivers out there, like he doesn't really match up in like the top 12, I would say, the top 15.
Well, and I guess what I mean by wide receiver 1 is
he's
you
the
know
one
you,
on his team.
Yeah, you could slot him in at 1 on multiple teams.
Totally.
Like that sort of thing. I'm not saying
that.
like elite, like Terry McLaurin is not the Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase level, right? But he's still a very, very good #1 receiver on a lot of teams.
Very good.
And that's what I mean. And I just think that Jakobi Meyers wouldn't be the #1 on a lot of teams.
No, and that's where I was going to head to. Like Terry McLaurin, I think is better than Jakobi.
Yeah.
And Jauan Jennings is another one.
Yeah.
Who's also doing the same thing as Jakobi Meyers, holding out. They're similar players.
Yeah.
That I think they're really good receivers, but they're still outside of the top guys. And so for them to be holding out, it just feels like a weird trend. You don't normally see these receivers who aren't that good holding out for more money.
Right.
Usually it's those top guys who are holding out for more money.
Yep.
So just an interesting trend. I don't know what's driving it, and we'll see. I guess they just want more money.
Yeah.
So
well, I mean, and I'm actually all for like any player going out and getting their bag.
Sure.
Like,
yeah.
Why not? I mean, you go out and you play and you sacrifice your body like every single day, all year long. So, I mean, if you can get it, go get it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what I think about how good you are on the field. Like if you can get the Raiders to pay you $30 million, like get them to pay you $30 million. Like go get it, man. So,
and I wondered too, if it's more than just a money thing.
Yeah.
With them drafting 2 receivers this year, Jack Besh and Deontay Thornton, I think that probably has more to do with what's going on. Maybe he's upset with his playing time.
Well, Amari Cooper just got signed
And
too.
Amari Cooper just got signed.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that.
Yep.
That was our next bit of news.
Okay.
Wide receiver Amari Cooper back
Yeah.
to the Raiders.
Yep.
Hometown reunion.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just awesome. I love Amari
It's really
Cooper.
cool. Yeah.
It is cool.
I wonder if anybody. Oh, Brock Bowers says 89. That's what he wore previously. So kind of sucks for him.
Give Brock Bowers number 1. He should just be number 1.
Dude, that would be cool.
That would be sick.
I mean, Evan Ingram's number 1.
Yep.
He was like the first tight end to wear number 1 in like 50 years or something.
Or just give Bowers 19 like he had in college.
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
Yeah.
But yeah, Raiders doing a lot of moves. They also traded for Kenny Pickett, backup quarterback from the Browns, who was out for all of training camp. So that is interesting. More so, I'd say, for the Browns quarterback room, because now you've got Joe Flacco starting, but then it's going to be Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah, that's how it came out today. I think Schefter put that out. That that's the order is exactly that. And Dylan Gabriel actually put out like good preseason tape.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not surprised, but I don't know. Sometimes you look at Shedeur and you're like, was he put in a place to succeed? I don't know. I mean,
oh, we're gonna get into this debate.
We're gonna go down that a little.
Shedeur,
anyways,
I'll say this:
Okay.
Shedeur was put into place to succeed when he started that first game. I can't remember who they played. But
Carolina.
Yeah. He played well.
Yeah.
I won't knock him. He played pretty well. Nothing crazy. He's playing against third stringers. And here's my thing, that he was playing with third stringers.
Yeah.
The offensive line was atrocious.
Yeah.
I will give him that. But one of my biggest things against Shedeur was his offensive line in Colorado was atrocious, and he learned this really bad habit, which is terrible for these quarterbacks, where they drop back, they sense pressure, even though it's not even there,
and they escape,
and they start to scramble,
Yeah.
or they drift back in the pocket. This is so crazy because I'm like on record as being like a huge Tom Brady hater.
Yeah.
I just watched Tom Brady highlights the other day, and it was like my favorite thing I've seen in a long time.
It truly is incredible. In the moment, you hate it. You hate it because he's not on your team.
He can't hurt me anymore.
Yeah, right.
That's why
but
I
you
can
can go
watch
back
it.
and now you can appreciate what Tom
It's
Brady did.
great.
Yeah.
But like watching him, big 6'5" guy, just standing strong in the pocket. The pocket would close in. He didn't move because he couldn't. I mean, he was a statue, but he didn't move. He stood strong in the pocket and delivered strong passes. And to be, I think, successful in the NFL, you either have to be that or you have to be this crazy Mahomes / Lamar Jackson level of mobility, where it's two different things. Mahomes is elusive and has great pocket presence, can move around and make throws off balance and all that stuff. Lamar, just blazing fast.
Right.
Shedeur, I just don't think he has that athleticism. I mean, he is athletic, don't get me wrong, but I don't think he has that athleticism. You saw it in the game. Like, he was holding on to the ball too long, even scrambling, trying to get away from pressure, and then running out of bounds 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage rather than throwing the ball away. Sometimes you got to throw the ball away, and that's just bad habits and him wanting to make a play, which it's been ingrained in him. I think if he can knock that out, if he can play more disciplined, throw the ball away when nothing's there, he's going to keep his confidence up, because he's not going to get sacked 5 times by third string defenders on, what was that team they played? I don't even know. but
yeah,
they're just
I don't
third
know.
stringers. Most of them are probably cut by
Well,
now.
I was gonna say like his offensive line that he was playing behind.
Yep.
Actually, four of the five were cut.
Yeah, they were all
like,
trash.
Just to kind of kind of like paint that picture. And I'm not like a huge Shador guy. I'm just I just think like everybody deserves a shot.
I
like
agree.
I hope that everybody gets to have that shot with the ones just to see what they can do, because you never know. Like, dude, you honestly never know. Like, he could go crazy, or he could, do as terrible as a lot of people think he's going to do. So,
yeah. And I saw a lot of people on Twitter saying, he was put in a bad situation being placed with the third string close to the end of the game. But, it's week 3 of the preseason. Unfortunately for him, he missed week 2 with the oblique injury. That was his week, to follow up week 1 and to come in week 2 and have that job. But unfortunately, he wasn't able to do it.
Yeah.
Not most teams, about half the league either rest their starters or they bring on their starters to play, with the ones as a final dress rehearsal for week 1.
Right.
And that's what they did. They brought out Joe Flacco, and let him run with the ones in offense. This is the first action he's seen all of preseason. And Gabriel, I think, has earned that spot. Like you said, Gabriel's played well. Is he inspiring? Not really.
He plays backup quarterback.
He's a good backup quarterback.
Like,
he makes accurate passes at times. He did have that bad pick 6, but I think Shador deserves a chance. And I think when Shador gets a chance, he'll probably be good. But there's just some habits that he has to cut out of his game.
Yeah.
I think to take it to the next level.
And that's just rookie quarterback play.
That's rookie quarterback.
I mean, you look at any of the rookies from last year. I mean, you can point anything from Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams and Bo Nix. Like at some point during the season, you're looking at them going, why would you do that?
Mm-hmm.
Why would you make that boneheaded play?
Yep.
But then they figured it out, right? So I mean, the only way to do that is to get those live reps. But I digress.
Yeah,
we don't have to talk about Shador too much longer.
It's okay. Speaking of rookie quarterbacks, Jaxson Dart.
Oh my gosh,
baby. Yeah, we were all too low.
If you're new to the show, neither one of us are Giants fans, but we love Jaxson Dart.
Jaxson Dart.
We love this guy.
Jaxson Dart is so good. I saw a tweet today that who is that guy? The Italian guy, Tommy
DeVito.
Tommy DeVito got cut.
Danny DeVito.
Yeah, Danny DeVito. Yeah. Tommy DeVito got cut today. They've got Russ Wilson, Jameis Winston, Jaxson Dart. Somebody tweeted that this is the first time the New York Giants have had an all-black quarterback room. So I'm all for it, dude. Jaxson Dart, I'm just here for it.
It's so good.
32 of 47 throughout the preseason, 68% completion percentage, which is great to see. 372 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. The yards and the touchdowns, that's just, cherry on top. But the no picks, the completion percentage, not to mention his rushing ability that was put on display that I don't think many of us really had thought about.
Right.
Man, he just looked so good. Yeah. And this could be the guy that saves Dayball's job, saves Joe Shane's job. To trade back into the late second, it feels so much like a Mahomes-esque pick too. Mm-hmm. Not saying he's going to be Mahomes. Please don't take me out of context there. Pump the brakes. It's preseason. But, number one, he's got a cool name.
Yeah.
You got, unbeatable swag, Riz. Mahomes had it. Now Dart's got it. And then just coming on the field and actually playing really well right off the bat.
Exactly.
And he's got a rocket for an arm.
And what I love about his play is it wasn't just a splash in the pan, right? He was consistent throughout the entire preseason. And that is what you want to look for because, as Broncos fans, I watch all the Broncos preseason games. Bo Nix looks inconsistent.
Yeah.
This preseason.
Right.
And so I'm not necessarily concerned, but it's really good when you have consistency throughout.
As a rookie, too.
As a rookie. Exactly. So it is preseason, again, we've talked about how they aren't really game planning for any of these defenses or vice versa. Defenses aren't game planning for them. They're just saying, let's see if our defense can stop whatever they're doing. And we're just going to, run our schemes and our formations and that sort of thing. So the Giants are playing the same way. They're just going to say this is our playbook and this is what we're going to run. Our very vanilla playbook that we're going to run. Doesn't matter, how they're lined up or anything like that. So again, consistency is huge. That's what gets you far in the NFL.
Yeah.
Right. So really exciting. Giants fans, we are on the Jaxson Dart train. So
This could be a really good,
dude.
good year for them.
I'm ready to get a Jaxson Dart jersey, man.
Dude, I'm right there.
My father-in-law is a Giants fan, and every time I see him, I talk about Jaxson Dart with him, and he talks about him too. And so, I think it's exciting. I mean, I would love to know what some of you think about it too. Giants fans or not, what do you guys think about Jaxson Dart? Because he seems pretty polarizing right now.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I'm all in. There's one throw he had as a rookie or as a college player, where he like rolls out to his left, which is the opposite side of his body for him, and just kind of slings the ball like 40 yards down the field, perfectly in the basket for this guy. And that's the throw that most people stopped and went, "Oh, okay, this guy's got a little like Mahomes to his game."
Sure,
Josh Allen, like there's a lot of that to his game. Obviously, these are high praises. Shout out Nicolas Cage. That's high praise. But just really excited for Jaxson Dart with that receiving room, with that offense. I think they will have a much better season.
Yeah.
One last thing I didn't actually have written down, but the quarterback battle in New Orleans has been settled.
Yeah.
Spencer Rattler as the QB1s for week 1.
They're ready for pick number 1 next year. That's what they're saying. Yeah,
pretty much.
Shug actually played pretty well.
Shug
down the stretch.
That I think that's the big thing. I mean, their stat lines were similar. The difference between Rattler and Shug is Shug made some plays that provided some inspiration for the team, whereas Rattler, it just is like bare minimum, very passive, very safe quarterback, and that's just not going to cut it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what he was last year. That's what he's doing again this year. It won't be long. Honestly, I feel like they only did that because they're going to start the rookie later in the season, probably week 4, week 5. But we will see.
Yeah.
So
I mean, his stats, just to kind of compare, because we just talked about Jaxson Dart, 36 of 54, which is actually almost 67% completion.
It's not bad.
333 touchdowns, 333 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. He had a long of 54 yards. Which is pretty cool.
That's not bad.
So 81.8 overall rating.
And he's got a nice rushing ability too.
Which
is pretty interesting.
There's some promise there.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know why you go with Spencer Rattler. I mean, you know what you have in him. We saw it last year.
Yeah. Like I said, I think they're just slow playing the rookie.
Yeah.
Maybe give him a little more chance to grow in the next couple weeks, and then
they're building that wide receiver room, and maybe they'll build the offensive line for him next
year. They got Devon Bailey. How can they fail?
Bailey, man.
Come on, dude.
Yeah. Star 7th round wide receiver.
That's all we've got for the news for today. There will be much more, but let's get into fantasy. Let's get some hot takes, Trey. What are we doing here?
Okay, sorry.
We got to hit the hot takes. We have a couple hot takes from the Hot Take Hotline. And just a quick note, next week is, like I said, the show of it's the first regular season show. We're going to go live during week 1. This is really your last chance to give us a good hot take for the season.
Yeah.
So if anybody has a hot take that they'd like to hear us talk about on the show, whether we roast it or agree with it, leave that in the comments below or message us on any of our socials. We've loved these hot takes, and we're definitely going through these.
Yeah, drop it in our comments right now on YouTube. I mean, we can look at it. We'll talk about it right now. We'll talk about it right now. Exactly. So drop it in, and it could be about anything, any hot take about any player, about anything. So let us hear it, and
it could be spicy, it could be safe. Just give us your hot take.
Yep.
All right. Number 1. Some of these guys are repeats because they gave me a list of like 10 hot takes.
Cool.
They're just hedging their bets, trying to make sure they are right at least once.
Sure.
All right. So this first one is from David Roberto.
Okay.
Shout out, Dave. What up, Dave? Dave just traded me Luther Burden.
Oh.
In my dynasty league.
Nice.
Guess who I traded him?
I don't know.
Bill.
Oh,
Bill.
Man.
Yep.
You probably won that one.
I hope so.
At least early.
Yeah. I have Bill in a lot of leagues, so I felt like at least in some leagues I need to get rid of him just in case he is bad. Hedge my bet.
Yeah.
And to get Luther Burden back. Oh, so thank you, Dave. Shout out, Dave. Dave says that Evan Ingram will have a top 5 tight end season this year with 10 plus touchdowns. I know Trey's going to love that.
I love you, Dave. If you're watching, man, I actually think this could happen. Sean Payton loves his tight ends, and he loves his big, fast receivers. That's what you have in in Evan Ingram. Not this week because this past weekend Evan Ingram didn't dress, but the week before he had like one catch for like 58 yards, and then they pulled him. They were like, "We saw all we need to see from you." So I could see it. This guy is extremely fast. He's huge. He's a mismatch for any sort of like slot corner, any sort of linebacker. Like you're gonna line him up in the middle, and you're just gonna. You just run him straight down the seam. Like he's gonna be a mismatch. Especially when you have like the fast guys on the outside, you got the big, Cortland Sutton on one side, Marvin Mims or Troy Franklin on the other side. Yeah, I could, and especially because there are tight ends, there are not a ton of tight ends that are really making that push for top 5. Yeah. So this is very, this doesn't seem so spicy to me. I mean, it's my blue and orange, goggles that I'm looking through. Sure. I think that this could be, this could be legit. But what do you think?
So number one, I love Evan Ingram. I really do. I mean, just a super good tight end. I used to draft him. I was drafting him back when he played for the Giants before people were really onto him. Yeah. I think that first year he played really well. Battled a ton of injuries early on in his career. And then it was just a meme that he was injury prone. He's put together a nice string of seasons the last 2 years. I think this take is very much in play. Yeah. Like you said, after Bowers, after McBride, after Kittle, there's 2 spots up there that I could see being anybody at this point. I think right now most people have Hawkinson and Laporta scribbled in there, which they're probably the best bets there. But I mean, who's to say Bowers. Evan Ingram? I mean, Bowers number 1. Yeah. I got Bowers number 1 easy. Yeah. Well, not too easy because I do like McBride too. But either way, there's still a path for Ingram to make it into the top 5. Sure. One of the big things I think that is going to hinder him that I'm interested to see in how this will play out in the Denver offense. Yeah. Because Denver does like to run the ball. I think they will be more run heavy with how good of a defense they have, having the best offensive line in the league, arguably one of the best offensive lines in the league. 2 brand new running backs, J.K. Dobbins and R.J. Harvey, the Mark Ingram, Alvin Kamara light duo. Yeah. I think they're going to want to run the ball more. Where this plays for Evan Ingram is that he is not much of a blocker. Sean Payton loves Adam Troutman. Yep. Loves Adam Troutman. Brought him over from the Saints. And most of you out there are going, who is Adam Troutman? Is Adam Troutman?
Adam Troutman. Outside of like Denver fans, like I'm surprised you know who that is.
I know Adam Troutman. Yeah. I was in on him his rookie year because he was decent in college, but he got pigeonholed as the blocking tight end. Yeah. And that's what he is. And so you see a lot with tight ends, if they can't block, it's hard for them to find a path on the field because when they come out onto the field, most teams know why they're there. It's the Kyle Pitts factor. Right. Kyle Pitts was a terrible blocker. And, he had a great first year and then just went down from there. So all in all, I love Evan Ingram as a talent. That's what I would say on the negative case. But I could totally see this happening. Yeah. I don't think this is a crazy take. Honestly, I think it's a great take. And especially if you're drafting tight ends and you don't get one of those top 3 guys, like go get this guy in the middle of the draft. Right. And then get one of these late round darts. Yep. I think that's the way to play it at tight end this year. I agree. Just looking at, in one of my leagues, I actually grabbed him round 10. Round 10. Yeah. That's just such a low cost to pay for a guy that could have massive upside. Yep. I just think that's such a smash. I actually have Brock Bowers. He was my keeper from last year in that league. So I had him at 9. And I just thought, you know what? I'm just going to take a swing on Evan Ingram here, like just in round 10. Yep. He's going to be better than, my 5th wide receiver at that point. Right. So it's 100%. Maybe I'll use him as trade bait for something, or I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. But take Evan Ingram. You can probably get him pretty late. Yep. That's a freebie. We'll get into fantasy stuff in a bit. Good take, Dave. I appreciate that one. And thank you for Luther. He's in good hands now. Speaking of Luther Burden, we have another hot take from Hung Huang, my man, Hung Main on Sleeper. All right. So Hung gave me this a couple weeks ago. Oh, boy. Luther Burden. Luther Burden is going to suck all year and frustrate managers until, in most leagues, he's traded from the team or dropped in redraft leagues. But then he will hit his stride around Thanksgiving, and by that point, he will be a league winner. So basically,
heating
most
up for
of
the playoffs.
Most of the first part of the season, he doesn't play well. Comes in middle of the season or later, and just smashes the rest of the way.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I can actually see this happening.
Yeah.
Also, just because we see that happen all the time.
Yep.
It's like who was that tight end last year? Jonnu Smith.
Jonnu
Smith did basically nothing all year last year, and then right before the playoffs started, he just turned it on.
Yeah.
And he was going crazy. Every game he had a touchdown. I think this does happen to some players, and I mean, to say that it's going to happen to Luther Burden, I don't know, specifically who it's going to happen to, but yeah, I could see a path where this does happen. You never know. I mean, it's hard to play wide receiver in the league too.
It is.
And they ask you to do a lot more, people think it's just receiving. It's a whole lot more than receiving. It's, you do have to run block. You do have to pass block, if someone else is catching a bubble screen or something, you got to be able to block. So there are a lot of things that they have to do in addition to being a receiving threat. Yeah. So if he's not able to put all of that together, which I think he will be, I actually do think he's going to be pretty good this year. If he's not able to put those things together, he might struggle to see playing time, which would obviously tank his value on your fantasy squad. So that's what I think. I mean, you're a big LB3 guy.
I'm a big LB3 guy.
Yeah, so
how'd you know?
Yeah.
Well, I've only talked about him every episode.
Every single episode.
Yeah, so I love this take. And honestly, I kind of sat down, thought about this, and really soaked it all in. So you got Ben Johnson, Chicago Bears, loves his slot guy, as we saw with Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah.
Let's go back to Amon-Ra St. Brown's rookie season. Amon-Ra drafted in the 4th round, didn't do anything for the first 8 weeks of the year. Comes in and just dominates at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a wide receiver 1, top 12
to
end the season. I think he might have been like wide receiver 8, if I'm not mistaken,
Sheesh.
For the end of the season. Luther Burden projects to be potentially Ben Johnson's slot receiver. So this could just be history rewriting itself. Obviously, we're going to always make those connections. But yeah, I mean, Luther Burden just has talent that's undeniable. A lot of people early on in the offseason, when they looked at his profile, were basically saying he was a gadget player.
Yeah.
He was a gimmicky guy. And he wasn't, most of those guys don't translate to the NFL. But I just think there's so much more to Luther Burden than being a gadget player. I think he was used as a gadget player in Missouri. I think that we've talked about this, that Ben Johnson's giving him the hard coaching right now to, really get him more disciplined and get him on the same page, because he's trying to hone his craft. And I do think that Luther Burden's going to find his way on the field. Might not wait till middle of the season. I think he might come on earlier.
Yeah.
And I just think that his talent's going to be undeniable once he gets on the field. So I love this take. I'm all in. I'm going everywhere and getting them right now.
Yeah.
In redraft, I think Luther Burden goes in like the 10th, 11th, maybe 12th round. So like if you're looking for a backup guy to stash, like that's how you win fantasy football leagues, is drafting these young guys who play really well at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Obviously you fill out your starting lineup with your first 10 picks, but this is a guy you want to stash on your bench just in hopes that something might happen.
Yep.
So
exactly.
I love it.
I'm just looking at my team now. I also grabbed him in my first draft last weekend, and I grabbed him in round 15. 15, yeah.
Oh, that is just money to the bank.
Yeah.
Round 15 is insane.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
Wow. So guys, like, serious, we're not just not just talking out of our backsides. He's basically free.
Yeah, we're getting these guys. Yeah, so
like
I would caution you to reach for him. Sure. I think I don't know. I think like first 8 rounds is like really, really rich. That's too rich for me.
Sure.
But I mean, if you can get him in double-digit rounds, like why not take a swing at him? Right. I mean,
take him around early, then round 14 rather than 15
and
to make sure you get him. I mean, you're skipping over him, or you're skipping over guys like I don't know, backup running backs, backup receivers.
Exactly.
And none of these guys have real paths to what Luther has.
Yeah.
If Luther hits, it's a big hit.
Yep.
So you want that guy on your team. Don't let one of your league mates get him before you do.
Yeah.
All right. Last and final take.
Cool.
This one's spicy. One's hot and spicy.
All right, let's hear it.
This is from Micah Flemian, B Mike, as I like to call him. I'm also in a league with him right now drafting. And shout out Mike.
How many leagues are you in?
Anyway,
Oh, yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Your wife doesn't want to know.
No, I'm in. Let's see. I think I'm in 10 dynasty leagues.
Oh my gosh, dude.
10
And there's
dynasty,
more.
and then right now 4 redraft leagues, 5 redraft leagues.
You are crazy.
I'm a fiend, dude.
I'm doing 2 leagues this year, and I'm like, I don't know if I can handle
Yeah.
more than that.
The good thing about dynasty is the hardest work you do is during the off season.
Yeah.
You know, during the season, it's not like I'm doing a whole lot,
Right.
other than setting lineups, which most of my lineups don't change because you don't really have. I mean, you've got deep benches, but you're not really changing out the guy that's in the starting spot for the guy on the bench.
Yep.
So it's not too much, but yeah, it's definitely a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I hesitate to tell people because
Yeah.
they're like, "Oh, dude, you're a freak," and I'm like, "Yes,
That
I
is
am."
crazy.
I also did about 20 best ball drafts this year.
Oh my gosh.
So those are best ball. You know,
You just
basically,
let 'em go though.
yeah, you don't have to set the lineups. That just gives you the best scores out of your team and fills out your roster each
Yep.
week. So that was I always do that because it's like practice drafts to
Right.
kind of figure out where guys are going, and that helps me figure out who are good values and who are guys that I feel like are going way too high. So I can
Right.
be familiar by the time I get into my home league draft. So
Cool.
all right, final take from B Mike. Shout out B Mike. He's noted multiple times that he loves the way I draft, loves my teams, and so for that, Mike, I just thank you. He says that Ashton Genty will be the biggest bust in the NFL since Ryan Leaf.
Wow.
Shout out Ryan
The
Leaf.
biggest bust.
The biggest bust.
Holy cow.
Biggest bust. What go ahead, Trey.
No, I mean, Broncos fan here. I have to disagree. I mean, they're the Raiders, but you can't deny his talent. And he's coming into a scheme where, again, Pete Carroll loves to run the ball.
Yep.
Loves to run the ball. Like his whole offense is like predicated on almost like play action, right? Like he loves to run the ball, like just run it, and then hit those moon balls. Russell Wilson is known for. Now I don't know. They're a poorly run organization, but they're getting better.
Yeah.
And so for that, I can't say. I don't know if this was like 5 years ago and Ashton Genty came out, then maybe I could see it. But to be the biggest bust since Ryan Leaf, like that's a little
huge.
extreme. That's you're right. That's too spicy for me. I can't say that. I think Genty's going to be good.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be really good, actually. So,
in Micah's defense, he did give me like 4 or 5 other takes.
Yeah.
And then asked how spicy I wanted them. I was like, just give me the spiciest you got. And this was his spiciest.
He doesn't even believe it.
He might. He
Yeah,
might.
yeah.
A lot of people think that Ashton Genty will be more of a bust because he's probably going to have a lower yards per carry being on a bad team.
Right.
And I get that. I think the counter argument is the fact that he will just get so much volume, and the style of player that he is. He reminds me a lot of Saquon in the fact that, when he played in college, there were runs that he wasn't getting like a lot of games. He didn't have a lot of yards per carry, which is mainly an offensive line stat, by the way. But he breaks off big runs, big chunk plays. And that was Saquon's like calling card. And we saw it last year, huge chunk plays. And I just think Genty on the Raiders offense, we faded the Raiders offense last year because Bowers got drafted there. Most people weren't taking Bowers till, like you said, the 9th round, 8th, 9th, 10th round, because of the bad offense. But you see what happens when a guy like that gets volume, a talented player gets volume. Brock Bowers is absolute smash. He's already the tight end 1 in all of fantasy. Ashton Genty's probably going to go for 300 touches. He's probably going to get somewhere in the range of 60 to 70 targets, 60 to 80 maybe, because he is a good pass catcher. I could care less about his yards per carry. I just think that I think that he is going to have so much volume, and he's such a dynamic player. And the Raiders offense is going to be a consolidated offense where they go through Ashton and Brock because there aren't a whole lot of other pieces there. So yeah, I'm really excited for Ashton.
Yeah.
I could see this take maybe, but since Ryan Leaf, that's a hard one.
Yeah.
I mean, Ryan Leaf was a huge colossal bust.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine?
us 90s kids remember.
Holy cow.
So that's what we got for the hot take hotline.
Cool.
So guys, if y'all, like I said, if you have any hot takes you want to share, if you agree or disagree with any of these, leave a comment. Let us know. But now we're getting into the meat of the show.
Right,
now we're going to have some fun.
Yeah.
All right. So we are going to start. We've each got 5 targets, 5 players that you must draft in all of your leagues. If you are ready to win this year, if you need some extra money by the end of the year to pay off all those Christmas gifts you bought, if you just want to brag to your friends, these are the players you need to be drafting.
Or if you already drafted, go see if they're on the waiver wire or
trade for them.
Yeah, trade now for them because they're going to.
You don't want to wait.
We think they're going to blow up. Yeah.
They're going to blow
Yeah.
up. So
Yeah.
I feel like I've been talking a lot. So I'm going to ask you to give me your first player.
Okay. Do we want to go positions?
Let's go positions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll
Where
swap
do you want
back
to start?
and forth. Let's go quarterback.
Quarterback. All right.
Yep.
This might seem like a homer take, but I've got some stats to back it up. So
It's Aaron Rodgers.
yeah,
I love it.
Yeah,
Love
homer,
it.
Yeah, homer for you.
Must draft.
Bo
Basically
Nix.
free.
Everybody go get Bo Nix. And I'm not saying he's going to be the best quarterback. But let me just let me explain the situation. Weeks 1 through 4 last year, Bo Nix had 4 interceptions to 1 touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Weeks 5 to 18,
Yep.
Bo Nix went 28 passing touchdowns
Yep.
to 8 interceptions.
Nice.
28 to 8. Okay, right?
Yeah.
And that's in what, 13 games?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 13 games, right? So so that's what he's doing in those last 13 games. He also added an additional 4 rushing touchdowns before he broke his back in I think it was like week 11 against the Raiders, whatever
Right.
that was. And then he also had a receiving touchdown. So Bo Nix in those weeks 5 to 18, he was the quarterback 6. And let me tell you the other quarterbacks that were right ahead of him. Obviously Lamar,
Yep.
You got Josh Allen, you got Joe Burrow, you got Jaden Daniels and Baker Mayfield.
Yep.
So
Elite company.
So all of those quarterbacks are going probably top 5-6 rounds.
Yeah.
Like you would imagine. And Bo Nix is going where? Where
Like
would you
the
think?
9th,
9th, 10th? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody in our league got him in like round 10.
Yeah.
Right?
He's going pretty late.
That is why, because you are going to get the best value for a quarterback coming into his second season with Sean Payton. And I've talked about this before, but this is the only time in his entire playing career since high school that he's had the same offensive coordinator in back-to-back seasons. So he knows the playbook. He knows what he's supposed to be doing. It's theoretically, he refined all of the things that he missed last year. Bo Nix going, if you're getting QB6 in round 10 of your fantasy drafts, like that is incredible value.
Yeah.
That is why I'm saying you have to go for him because you can get him really late. And I mean, when you look at it, like you're talking about the difference between him and Jaden Daniels is like less than 2 points a game.
Wow.
So that's the sort of thing you're talking about here when you're talking about like 6 to 4. Right? You're talking about 2 extra points per game. And that's not gonna, I mean, some games, yes, that'll make or break you, but like that's good enough for me. Like I'll take Bo Nix in round 10 if I can get, a solid wide receiver 3 in round 5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's my quarterback. That's what I'm going with just because of the value is incredible on him right now. And if you can trade peanuts for him, again, just keep him as your second quarterback if you've already got a good one, and then you can trade him away when he starts tearing it up. He's got a pretty cushy schedule this year. So
that's good.
Yeah.
See, what's funny is I'm actually not going to dog you for your take.
Yeah.
I think he's a great value.
Yeah.
The biggest thing I like about Bo Nix
value because
great value.
Walmart owns the Broncos.
Yeah, that's right. That's
great value.
Did they really?
They do.
Wow. I did not know that.
That's who bought the team.
That is insane.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Walton Penders. Yeah.
He has a great value. No, I mean, the best part that I like about Bo Nix, and this has been the cheat code in fantasy for quite a while now, is the quarterbacks who can run.
The scramble,
the scramble guys. And not to say that Bo Nix is a Lamar Jackson. No, he's not, but he doesn't have to be because he is a good passer.
Yep.
He's a great passer. It was year 1 in a Sean Payton system. barring a year 2 sophomore slump, which those, I don't know why that would happen. I don't really see any reasoning other than, oh, the sophomore slump is a thing. I don't really see it happening. I think they improved the offense. And he's got the rushing ability to match his passing ability. I just think he's a great value. And I mean, what are other guys he's going around? Like, who's drafted before him? I don't.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you named the other quarterbacks. I mean, Jared Goff.
I'd take him over Baker Mayfield.
In
a heartbeat.
Yeah, same.
100%.
Yep. But the next tier would probably be like your Jared Goff, your Kyler Murray. Matt Stafford's probably too low. I mean,
it's too high. Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
And he's a similar bet to Brock Purdy, where
Yep.
Brock Purdy's so consistent, and he's also got a little bit of running to his game, a little bit, not as much as Nick's.
Yeah.
I like the Bo Nix.
Yeah.
If you're not going and taking that early guy, get him in the middle rounds and then grab one of these later guys and feel good about yourself.
Yeah, I'm just saying for your fantasy team, if you want a good balanced team, without reaching for one of these top 5 quarterbacks, top 6 quarterback, again, that's good enough for me. And you can win championships, having a solid player at quarterback.
Well, apparently our transcript already got leaked because, Dom in our fan feed writers league, Dom Orico, the writer for the Chicago Bears, shout out Dom, what up, boy? He took Bo Nix in the 5th round.
Dang.
5th round.
Dang.
He was going to get him some Bo Nix.
Wow.
And Dom's one of the guys that's with us that loves fantasy football.
Loves fantasy.
So if Dom's doing that, I tend to trust that.
Yeah.
So shout out Dom. We'll see how that works out.
Yeah.
All right. My QB target.
Let's
so CJ Stroud is my QB target for 2025. This is I'm betting on a bounce back, a huge bounce back. Obviously year 1 in his rookie year, he was great. He was awesome. Most people in fantasy had him ranked in the top 5, and some guys had him top 2, top 1 because of how impressive his rookie season was.
Yeah.
Coming into year 2, there's a lot of high expectations, expectations of getting the Texans back in the playoffs, which they did on the back of the defense because CJ Stroud was buns last year, buns. And, but it wasn't all his fault. The offensive line was atrocious, just atrocious. Besides that, Tank Dell was hurt, horrible injury. He was out for the rest of the year. Nico Collins had an injury that I can't remember. It was like 4 to 6 weeks that he was out. That's his 2 top receiving weapons.
Yep.
So he was out there throwing to some random guys and had Joe Mixon as a running back who was playing well. So they kept feeding him. And with their defense being as good as it was, they were playing a game of possession, trying to beat teams by being more physical. And so they just didn't risk putting Stroud back there and making him throw all the time like they did year 1. Year 3 now, I'm betting on a huge bounce back.
Okay.
I think that with the healthy team, minus the running backs, Joe Mixon's out. That Adam Schefter said that he doesn't even know if Mixon will even play this year.
Wow.
That's how sketchy this whole leg injury is.
Wow.
So there's a chance that we don't see Joe Mixon in 2025.
Woody Marks,
who is could be good.
Maybe.
But he's a below average talent, I would say.
Yeah.
They got old man Nick Chubb fresh off of his knee getting absolutely blown out.
Yeah.
Which I love Nick Chubb. Shout out Nick Chubb. But he definitely looks slower, at least in training camp.
He looked bad last year.
He looked bad. Oh, but last year he was out. He didn't play.
He did play.
At the end of the year?
Yeah.
He did, didn't he?
He played that. I mean, he was in for that Broncos Browns game. And
wow.
That
he just looked slow.
Yeah.
Like really, really slow.
Yeah. So you didn't even know. Like, that's how bad he looked. Is like, he was playing. Nobody even knew.
I was too busy drooling over Jameis.
Yeah.
The Texans had a plan going into the draft, and I've said this before, but the draft is one place where teams cannot lie about their intentions. They go and draft Jaden Higgins, who is almost a 1-for-1 Nico Collins clone.
Yeah.
Same size, same speed, same athletic score. They go and sign Christian Kirk, who's a known slot guy. Maybe not the best slot player ever, but plays that role really well. He'll be the Tank Dell replacement because Tank Dell's still injured. And then you got Jalen Noel. Jalen Noel was also a slot guy. but really good for what he was and being a 4th round pick. They definitely signaled in the draft that they want to pass the ball and surround CJ Stroud with weapons so that they don't end up in a 2024 situation again. They've reworked the offensive line, but the offensive line is still probably going to be mid. So they're going to have to do a lot of quick passing. The run game is almost going to be non-existent is my take. And so Stroud is going to have to throw 40, 50 times a game. Which is great because we've who gave us our first hot take about Nico Collins? Was that Alex?
Alex
Percy. Shout out Alex Percy. First hot take on the show. Nico Collins, 1,700 yards.
Love it.
This
Still
year.
love it.
And I think that is 100% in play.
Yeah.
I just think they're going to throw the ball a ton. Volume is king, and I don't think Stroud is bad. I think that the situation last year was bad. I think the Texans are a sleeper team for this year. Stroud is going as like the QB 20.
Yeah.
Way too late.
That is kind of crazy.
It's a way overreacting to his year last year.
Yeah.
And so, I'm all in on CJ Stroud. If I'm not taking an early guy, I'm taking a stab at a high upside guy.
Yeah.
And then I'm going and getting CJ Stroud as my backup. So that's my quarterback take and my must draft for this year.
I love it, dude.
Like it?
I love the Texans and I love CJ Stroud, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope he does have a bounce back season just because it's fun when the Texans are good.
Yeah.
Like it's really, say what you will about Deshaun Watson. When Deshaun was in Houston and they were like making the playoffs,
They're
like
so
that
fun.
was such a fun team to watch.
So fun.
There's something about the Texans making the playoffs that's just really cool.
Yeah.
So
and they've got a great team. Like the defense is so good. Like we talked about,
Yeah.
the offense can start clicking.
Yep.
I mean, someone could beat the Chiefs.
Yeah. And I mean, your hot take several weeks ago was that they're going to make the Super Bowl.
Yep. Dark horse team for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, dark horse team, man. So, this falls right in line with what you were saying.
I'm
I
a
love
man
it.
of my word.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to running backs.
Cool.
And you kept this one. We have a show sheet, and Trey put this one down as secret.
Yeah.
Can I guess?
Okay. Yeah.
Is that a thing we can do?
You're just going to like guess the running back?
Yeah, I'm going to guess.
We're doing running backs now.
Give me 3 tries.
All right.
Is that good?
Sure.
All right. J.K. Dobbins.
No.
Okay.
Not going to do 2 Broncos.
Give me 2. Give me 1 hint. Is he in the top 10 rounds or bottom 10 rounds?
Like average draft position?
Average draft position, roughly. Or is he
He'll
right
be in
around
the top 10.
Top 10?
Yeah.
Again,
the whole point of this is like, go get your guy. Like, go get these guys. That's the whole point of this exercise is for us telling you, get him because he's going to be great.
It's Bill.
It's not Bill.
Not Bill?
Nope. He's not going top 10.
He's going in the 9th round.
No way.
And
oh my gosh.
In leagues that are what do they call them? High stakes leagues where guys put in $2,500. For a buy-in. I mean, that's crazy. But they're like professional football team players or fantasy football players. 8th, 9th round.
That's crazy to me.
Isn't that nuts?
Yeah.
All right.
One more.
One more try. I'm gonna say Travion Henderson.
Nope.
No.
Okay. I did draft Travion Henderson though.
Good. Smart man.
But all right, let me I'm just gonna read the stats from last year. You tell me if you can guess who it is. All right. Last year, 301 carries, 1,329 yards, 15 touchdowns, 36 receiving or 36 receptions. Sorry,
Kyron Williams,
342 yards, 1 receiving touchdown.
No, it's not
Kyron Williams.
Is it Kyron? No. Derrick Henry?
Nope.
Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs.
It's Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs is the guy to go get. Now,
really?
My guy Nathan, he's the one who pointed this out to me. He texted me randomly and he was like, hey, $20 side bet. Josh Jacobs, over 1,500 yards and 10 touchdowns. And I was like, easy money. Give me that bet. Like he's not gonna do both of those things.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, well, last year these were his stats. And I was like, there's no way. And he was silently like I think he was like the 5th overall running back last year. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Had no idea that Josh Jacobs
crazy.
was doing that well. And maybe it's because I'm not a Jordan Love guy, so I probably pay less attention to the Packers than I should.
Yeah.
But holy cow. I do think that they are going to rely on the run a little bit more. And this was one of his hot takes about this too, and you and I also talked about this a little bit, is that he thinks that the NFL has Jordan Love figured out, and that he's going to be terrible. Yeah. And because of that, they're going to run the ball even more. They're gonna really dump it off to Josh Jacobs as often as they can, because their receivers are, wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3 receivers, being put in slots above where they should be, that kind of thing. Josh Jacobs is in for a monster year. If last year wasn't evidence enough, I mean, I thought 2 years ago when he was with the Raiders, right? And he had that one game where it was like 300 yards and I was like, oh my gosh, this guy's insane.
Not 300 yards, maybe total yards, because the record's 296 by Adrian Peterson.
Okay.
Shout out Adrian Peterson.
Yeah, it was probably total yards then in that game, whatever
That's
it was.
the jersey I would want, Adrian Peterson.
Oh,
we had the same birthday?
Jacobs. No way.
Yeah, me and Adrian Peterson had the same birthday.
All day?
I spotted him in preseason one year.
Yeah.
Watched him play for like 2 games and drafted him in the first round in my fantasy league. Then everyone said I was nuts.
Yeah.
And he
went
blew
crazy
up, and then he tore his ACL.
Yeah.
But anyway, I digress.
Yeah.
Back to Josh Jacobs.
So Josh Jacobs is my guy.
Jacobs.
That's what I'm going for.
Woo, that's hot.
Yeah, dude, it's I like it. I told I had a different running back put in here at first.
Yeah.
I told you, and then I talked to Nathan. I was like, hold on.
I'm changing this.
I'm changing this. I really want to talk. And I told him, I was like, dude, I'm going to put this on the podcast because I want to talk about this, because I just feel like people don't know how productive Josh Jacobs was last year.
Yeah.
And he's really good, man.
He was sneakily productive. And it's because, once again, volume.
Yep.
They handed him the ball a ton. They were having so many troubles with
301 times they handed him the ball, and they passed him the ball. I think it was like 46 times or something, and he caught like 36 of them.
That's great.
So crazy.
Yeah, Jordan Love was battling injury. Like you said, all their wide receiver 2s and 3s out there, running a bunch of slot receivers running around out there.
Yep.
It's so funny. Josh, I don't know. I don't actively hate Josh Jacobs.
Yeah.
I've never drafted him once in my life.
Really?
Never, not once.
Wow. I've traded for him when he was doing really well. I've traded for him, but I don't know. I think maybe I drafted him once or twice, but I don't know.
So there's a term for what I would consider myself that people use in fantasy football.
Okay.
They call them slappies.
Okay.
Slappies are typically people who overdraft young players and neglect older players. And so 100% when Josh Jacobs is on the board, I'm just skipping down and going Lad McConkey or like somebody younger.
You're a slappy.
I'm a slappy. And I get burned by it every year. Every year I look back and I go, shoot, I should have drafted Terry McLaurin instead of the shiny new toy. But, that's just how I play. So I think Josh Jacobs is such a solid pick. And that's the big thing with him. He reminds me of Kyron Williams. He doesn't get injured. He gets a heavy workload. He's going to be a solid anchor on your team. And if you can get a stud receiver in round 1 or a stud running back in round 1, and then pair them with that consistency at round 2, I think it's a smash hit.
Yeah, I think so. Now they do face a pretty tough schedule. Yeah. You got the Lions twice. Obviously, you got the Vikings twice.
Bears.
Those defenses.
Yeah,
the
Bears is good.
Yeah. So 6 of those games, like they're going to be tough sledding. But then you also have, play the Steelers too.
Yeah.
Also historically good, lines that you're going up against. Play the Eagles.
You never know what Steelers defense you're going to get though.
Yeah. But you're also playing the Cardinals. You're playing the Bengals. You're playing the Cowboys, the Browns. You're playing the Panthers, the Giants. You're playing the Broncos, who are going to have a good line, but for whatever reason, every time the Broncos play Josh Jacobs, and he has said this. He said, I love playing the Denver Broncos because he always has a monster game against the Broncos. So or he did when he was with the Raiders, at least. So
he's a beast at the goal line. Yeah. There's nobody else on the team behind him running back wise. They just put Marshawn Lloyd, their not second. He was a pick they had last year, who's just been nonstop injured.
Yeah.
I think they've got Chris Brooks, who is cast off from the Miami Dolphins, and somebody else, but there's nobody behind him. Like it is going to be Josh Jacobs.
Yep.
His workload. He is probably the safest pick in the second round of fantasy drafts that you could get.
Yeah.
So it's great take.
Cool. So who do you got?
All right.
Running back.
My running back for 2025, Kenneth Walker, Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah.
So when we first started doing this this podcasting thing.
Yeah.
We did some test pods, and I don't even know if it was part of the test pods or if it was stuff we talked about when we actually started podcasting.
Right.
I got to go look back. I was very low on the Seahawks for 2025. I've shifted.
Okay.
I don't think they're going to be great, but I see the vision. I see the vision. So Seahawks go out. They sign brand new offensive coordinator, Clint Kubiak.
Yep.
Clint Kubiak was the offensive coordinator for the Saints last year. The first 2 games of last year, the Saints, I don't know if you remember this, put up over 40 points per game.
Yep.
Rashid Shaheed was balling. Alvin Kamara balling.
Remember they smacked the Cowboys and
they destroyed. I mean, we were sitting there going, wow, this is the dark horse
Nobody
team.
saw this coming.
And then Derek Carr got hurt, out for the year. They got decimated with injuries. Chris Olave, concussions. Rashid Shaheed tore his ACL. Like everything that could go wrong went wrong for them last year. But Clint Kubiak was proving to be offensive genius. Gary Kubiak is his father.
Yep.
Old Broncos guy, isn't he?
Yeah. He won Super Bowl 50 with us. And
there you go.
Won the other 2 Super Bowls with us as the backup quarterback behind John Elway. Yeah.
Gary Kubiak, legend. Clint Kubiak, part of that Shanahan tree with his father. So they got a nice offensive line over there. Gray Zabel, the guy they drafted in the first round, looks like an absolute stud.
Yeah.
He was a late riser in the process, and he just looks so good. They're going to play this wide zone or outside zone running scheme, which gives running backs like Kenneth Walker space to operate and choose lanes and make plays. And they're going to run a lot of play action, play action. So they're going to keep defenses on their toes. It's going to look like similar to a Rams offense or a 49ers offense.
Sure.
Running backs in those systems just eat. Kyron Williams, Christian McCaffrey, Jordan Mason last year was dominant. Even Isaac Guerrero was awesome.
It's like it didn't matter what running back you put in there. They were just going to
They're always open. Kenneth Walker is a top-tier talent in the NFL if he can stay healthy.
Right.
So this is a bet. I'm very risk. I embrace risk when I draft.
Yeah.
I'm the guy who's going to go draft Rashee Rice.
Yeah.
Just in case he maybe, does play the full season.
Sure.
And Kenneth Walker is a guy that I think people are too low on because he has dealt with injuries. He's dealt with injuries all preseason. But I think more so they're managing the injury rather than him actively being injured because they're prepping him for this year. The coaching staff has been nonstop singing the praises of Kenneth Walker. Dude, I just think Kenneth Walker with an offensive line like that, it's going to be similar to like Saquon last year, moving from the Giants to the Eagles, where a bottom tier offensive line to a top tier offensive line and a good scheme.
Yep.
And I think Kenneth Walker is going to be, I think he could be a top 5 running back in the NFL this year.
I do too. I actually view him and Breece Hall like kind of in that same category of like, it's risky, but if it pays off, you're going to be thanking the Lord that you drafted them.
Yeah.
Because they are so like both of those guys are such incredible running backs. And every time they touch the ball, you're like, this could be a 60-yard house ball. And I love this. Yeah. I love Kenneth Walker. Yeah. I mean, my stance on him. Like I don't typically like a whole lot of like Seahawks players. This team I actually really like. I like, JSN, and I like Kenneth Walker and Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that in a second.
And and just to speak on the risk thing.
Yeah.
If you don't embrace risk ever in fantasy football, you will lose because Christian McCaffrey is like one of the greatest fantasy football players like of all time. Averaged like 24 points per game in multiple seasons, which is unheard of. Yeah. Other than like the early 2000s with like Priest Holmes, Jamal Charles, and like LaDainian Tomlinson.
Yeah.
But there are people every year who fade Christian McCaffrey because he's quote unquote injury prone. Injury prone is a myth. It's a myth. It's not a real thing. Injuries happen. Sometimes they happen more to one guy than they do to other guys, but it's not because one player is more prone to injury than another.
Correct.
So Kenneth Walker being injury prone, I mean, we've seen the guy for 3 years. And his first 2 seasons, he played 15 games. Mm-hmm. Last year, he played 12. So it's recency bias that's causing people to drive his price down and say that he's injury prone. I'm the guy. I'm going to say, screw that.
Yeah.
I'm going to take him. If he is injured, I'll find somebody on the waiver wire. He's a 6th-round pick.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like those guys bust all the time.
Yep.
I'll take that risk rather than taking a safe guy who's going to give me 10 points a game.
Exactly.
That's not going to help me win.
Exactly.
So he's a guy I'm drafting everywhere. So
I love it, dude.
All right.
I love Kenneth Walker. I love that.
I love that
take.
you like that take.
Yeah.
Good. All right, let's move on to receivers. Who you got at receiver?
Yeah. Speaking of the 49ers, Ricky Pearsall. Yeah.
I'm excited for this take.
So who is your buddy that said he thinks he's going to be a top 15 wide receiver?
That was David Roberto.
David.
Had this take earlier.
I love you twice now, man, because back when he first gave us that hot take, I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, it's hard for me to see him being a top 15 wide receiver. Yeah. I still think that's going to be difficult, but I mean, Pearsall is going like in the teens. Yeah. He's going like 13, 14, 15.
Yeah.
He is their only receiving option outside of George Kittle over there.
Yep.
And he's good.
Yeah.
He's good. I mean, I don't know if you've watched him at all in the preseason, but Ricky Pearsall is he's a machine. He has hands that make it easy. He's fast. He's shifty.
Very fast.
He's just like an all-around very, very good receiver, and he's going to get fed the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Brock Purdy is going to have this really fast connection with him that's going to translate into a lot of fantasy owners being like, oh, let me go grab him. And if you already have him on your team, again, as your 6th wide receiver, like, again, that's not really a risk, taking that guy, because you said it a minute ago yourself that, a lot of these guys don't pan out. You end up dropping them or whatever, and I don't think Ricky Pearsall is going to be somebody that you drop during the season. So if you already drafted, he's out there, go pick him up right now. Like
100%. 100%.
Go grab him, because he's gonna go crazy this year.
Yeah. Ricky was a 1st-round pick.
Yeah.
Which is a big deal, especially for Kyle Shanahan taking a receiver 1st round, because back when he did that, they had both Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah.
They had just re-signed Brandon Ayuk, and they love Deebo. Well, you see how much changes in a year.
Sure.
Deebo's now gone. Ayuk still out with this injury. Probably not going to start. I mean, maybe you start at the beginning of the year, but ACLs always have carryover. And so, he's not going to be the same guy for probably the first 6 to 8 weeks of the season. Jauan Jennings holding out / calf injury or whatever. Jacob Cowing out. Jordan Watkins out. I mean, like you said, I don't know who all is going to play receiver for them. And so you got George Kittle, you got McCaffrey. Those are top tier options in that team. Pearsall is going to be that guy. I'm right. And so this is coming from a guy who's been a Pearsall doubter, because I thought he was overdrafted in the 1st round last year.
Sure.
Just point blank. His profile wasn't that good. He was like a 4th year breakout, which those guys happen all the time, and then they don't pan out in the NFL. He didn't produce at all his first 3 years, but the situation is what you got to chase here.
Mm-hmm.
The team is signaling that they're going to be targeting him. They got nobody else to throw to. The big question is, can he maintain that when guys start getting healthy and coming back? And I'm with you. I'm going to say yes.
I mean, I think if you build that chemistry early, though, like, how do you go away from that?
Yeah.
Even if people start coming back, and you do have that connection with Brock Purdy and he trusts you, you guys know each other's cadences. Like, how do you step away from that?
Yeah.
I mean, it might dip a little bit in production, but he's still going to be the guy.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to be that top 1 or top 2 wide receiver for him.
And we have to talk about this. The dude got freaking shot last year. But you know the story.
Ryan Robinson also
somebody
got
came up,
That's
and they're on the same team.
Dude,
Yep,
that's gonna be a movie.
Yes, 100%. Everybody else better watch out so they didn't get shot.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, he freaking a guy came up and tried to steal his chain.
Yeah.
Stole his chain, shot Ricky. Ricky ran over, beat the guy up, shot him, and took his chain back.
Oh my!
I mean,
gosh.
It wasn't just this dog. He's got that dog in him. I think if the first 4 weeks will tell the story of Ricky Pearsall.
Yeah.
If Ricky can dominate in those first 4 weeks, he will never look back. He's got to build up that momentum.
Yep.
But if he's average, and those guys start coming back, look to put him on the trade block because people are still going to like him because people love average. But I actually have gone from a doubter to a believer, and I just drafted Ricky, and then I got sniped on him in another league. So yes.
Well, you got a pretty easy schedule the first 4 weeks. You got Seahawks, kind of tough.
Yeah.
Week 1, week 2 is the Saints.
Yep.
Week 3, the Cardinals.
Yep.
Week 4 is the Jags.
I love it.
So
yeah, I think he's gonna smash.
First 4 weeks, he could go.
He's gonna go wild.
Off. Yeah,
I love that take.
Cool.
It's so good. All right, so mine, I had such a tough time. I can't even pick one.
Okay.
So y'all are getting an extra sneak peek.
Cool. Bonus.
I'm putting 3 guys, even though I only got 2 guys listed here.
Okay.
But this is how I draft rookie receivers.
Slappy.
Slappy.
Yeah.
This is Slappy Draft 101.
Cool.
You got to take rookie receivers. The main 2 I'm going to talk about are T-Mac,
Sure.
Travis Hunter.
Yep.
I'm adding Emeka Egbuka into that list. Emeka Egbuka's first round pick overall, 22nd overall, I think. Once again, we talked about situation. Chris Godwin's out. Who's the other guy? Jalen McMillan.
Yep.
He's out. I mean, Emeka's starting the year off as the second receiver on the team.
Yeah, Mike Evans is getting long in the tooth.
And Mike Evans is getting old.
Yeah.
And Baker Mayfield needs somebody to throw to. I just think Emeka Egbuka, and he's going in like the 8th round. 8th round. All these guys go within 4 rounds. So T-Mac goes in the 4th, Travis Hunter goes in the 6th, and then Emeka goes in the 8th. Emeka's probably the best value that you're going to get out of all 3. And that's why I couldn't leave him off.
I drafted him, and so both my leagues were 8-team leagues.
Yep.
I drafted him round 12.
Okay. That's crazy.
Round 12.
Yeah. Yep. So, in most 12-man leagues, I think he goes in the 8th. So I think that math
that makes
out.
sense. Yeah.
But
about the same position. Yeah.
He's going right there with Ricky. So I think they're both very similar bets. There's such good values in the 8th round. So yes, 100% go get Emeka, but I really want to hit on T-Mac and Travis Hunter.
Okay.
All right. Both of these guys are top 10 draft picks in the NFL draft. Stop. Top 10 draft picks in the NFL draft. These guys always, every year, get drafted in the first 3 rounds. Yet these guys, specifically Hunter, is all the way back in the 6th round. And then T-Mac is in the 4th, routinely. 4th, and that's it's probably closer to the 5th. T-Mac is in an offense that's ascending. Bryce Young had his bounce back year last year. They were one of the best passing teams in the league last year at the last final 8 games of the season.
Very good. Yeah.
It's a Matt Canales offense, who Matt Canales was the guy who resurrected Baker Mayfield's career in Tampa Bay.
Yep.
In that year, Mike Evans dominated. T-Mac is a very similar to Bet. He was comped to Mike Evans because he's that tall. He's not as lanky as Mike Evans, maybe not as athletic, but he gets open. He's a baller. Dude, Matt Canales is going to design plays that feed T-Mac.
Yeah.
He is the easy wide receiver 1 option on that team. I don't understand what people are doing, letting him go down their draft board so far.
Yeah, plus the division that they play in is not known for good defense.
No, so it's going to be a high-scoring division.
Yeah, and 6 games out of the year, you can bank on him just cashing it in.
Yep. And I said it last week. He cooked Derek Stingley.
Yeah.
I saw a video of Derek Stingley going against the Lions in the joint practice this year. And Amon-Ra was running a route. Amon-Ra, one of the best route runners in the league. He runs up, shakes him, and then turns. Before Amon-Ra turned, Derek turned.
Yeah.
And picked it off easy.
Yeah.
So you get T-Mac in a game with Derek Stingley. He puts one move on him and shakes him and then turns upfield, and Andy Dalton can't get the ball to him. So it's the greatest gift to all of us, that T-Mac didn't catch that. Because if he did, I guarantee you'd be going in the late 2nd, early 3rd round.
Yeah.
But he didn't. And so we're going to eat this, this dip on him.
Yeah.
We're going to buy it, and we're going to draft him on all of our teams. All of them. He's probably my most drafted player in all my leagues. And then Travis Hunter. This one is ridiculous too.
Yeah.
Travis Hunter, number 2 overall. And if you think that he was drafted number 2 overall, go look at any episode that we've ever put out, because I guarantee you we talked about this with Travis Hunter. you're a fool. Travis Hunter is a receiver first, DB second.
We said that from the beginning.
It has come out multiple times.
Before preseason week 1. That's what we were saying.
Back when we were doing test pods.
Yep.
2 months ago.
Sitting back here in like June. Like we were like, he's just going to be on offense.
He's
like,
going to be on offense.
We're not playing any games here. Like that's,
And that has continued to be true over and over and over, that Travis Hunter is going to be featured on the offense, and then he's going to moonlight on defense, which is a big deal. He didn't play in camp or in preseason, but one game, and he didn't really do much. And I think that is all by design. You know, they go out and draft this guy. They're not going to show off their shiny new toy in preseason. They know he's good.
Yeah.
It's no secret to anybody that he's good. He had an injury that he sat out the last 2 games. Well, week 3, he wasn't injured. They just sat everybody. Dude, I just think Travis Hunter, he's a freak. He's a better, to me, he's a better prospect than T-Mac.
Yeah.
T-Mac's going in the 4th. And Travis Hunter's
going like 6th?
In the 6th round, crazy. 2 rounds later.
That's so crazy.
And so these are but just, once again, if you're thinking about the draft in a linear form, your first 4 rounds, you're getting, solid running backs positions and receivers. Yep. If you get T-Mac, he's probably going to be your second, maybe even third receiver, depending on how you draft.
Yeah.
He could even be your number 1, and I'm fine with that. In fact, I keep doing that over and over, and I feel awesome about it.
Yeah.
So, and then Travis Hunter in the 6th is just such a steal. He's going to be your flex guy, potentially even a bench guy at that point, like depending on how you draft. He's just like, it's perfect. Yeah. So if you want to win your leagues this year, I digress. Go draft the first round receivers, and they're all good profiles. They're not like Xavier Legette last year or Ricky Pearsall last year, who didn't have great profiles, even though we like Pearsall. Yeah. And I think you like Legette kind of.
I like it.
Yeah.
I'm like higher on Legette than a lot of people.
Right.
Yeah.
But still, like the expectations were lower.
Yeah.
Because they weren't as good at prospects.
Yep.
Emeka Egbuka is like the guy everybody was talking about is like probably the wide receiver 1 in the class.
Yeah.
So all these guys are values. I can't pick one. I just say draft all 3. Yep. And just live with it.
Yeah.
I mean,
one of them is bound to go off.
One of them's going to go off.
I remember
if
that.
Not all 3.
Right. I remember that one year that you had CeeDee Lamb, you had, oh my gosh, this was the Henry Ruggs, Jerry Jeudy, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, Jalen Reagor.
Yep.
So like 3 of those 5 guys, incredible.
Yeah.
Wow. 2 of those 5 guys, CeeDee Lamb and Justin Jefferson, obviously in class of their own. Jerry Judy's fine. Jalen Reagor, trash. Man, Henry Ruggs, trash.
That was a terrible rookie draft for me because I was very in on Reagor.
Oh, dude, same.
I passed up Justin Jefferson for Reagor.
Oh my gosh.
just like the Eagles.
Yeah. We got a comment here from Lehigh Sky High.
What's up, Lehigh?
Yeah. It says, did my 12-team PPR draft last night. I'm banging on some of my favorite guys. Drake London. Ooh,
yes.
Bucky Irving. That's who I had before I switched over to Josh Jacobs. So Bucky Irving, incredible. JSN, we just talked about him a little bit. Love him. Sutton. Man, this looks like a good team. Tucker Kraft, Pollard due to injury to Tajay Spears.
Yep.
James Conner and Cam Scatterbo. That's a solid team.
I love that team.
PPR. Oh,
I love that team. Drake London's going to be a top 3 receiver this year.
Oh my gosh, he's going to go crazy.
I'm putting it out there now so everybody knows. Top 3.
I thought about putting Drake London as my guy too.
He was my guy too.
Yeah, because when Michael Penix came in, oh my gosh, that was his guy. He's like he had a direct line to Drake London.
He had almost a 40% target share.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
40% of the targets that Michael Penix threw.
That's got to be like top of the league.
It's unsustainable for it's a short a small sample.
Sure.
I'm very excited to see. And Darnell Mooney's hurt.
Yeah.
Drake London is an absolute smash.
He's so good, man.
I would take him over Justin Jefferson right now.
Oh yeah.
I'm psycho.
So here's a question kind of related to that.
Yeah.
In one of our
Thank you for that comment, Lehigh.
Yeah,
that was so
Lehigh
good.
Sky
Your team
High.
is so good.
Yeah.
Keep us up to date with how you do.
You're probably gonna win your league.
Yeah.
Like that is such a solid team.
Yeah.
So a question came up in one of our leagues, and somebody was like debating on a keeper, and they were like, should I keep Saquon or Justin Jefferson? Yeah. You don't have to go into like too much detail here, but who would you take?
So what round do you get to keep them in?
One.
So it'd be your first pick.
First round pick.
Oh.
It's actually my wife.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay.
She had.
What was her draft spot?
For we kind of decide our draft spot like after we. It's kind of we choose our draft spot first, and then we decide like who our keeper's going to be.
Okay.
But she was going to choose one of them regardless.
Okay.
I think she was. Gosh, I can't remember.
If it's between the two, I'd probably. It's so hard. It's a toss up.
It's a good one. Right?
I think they're both right there. Yeah. Maybe Jefferson. Yeah.
Jefferson?
Maybe Jefferson.
I told her Saquon.
Okay.
And everyone else in the league also said Saquon.
Okay.
We'll stop there.
Yeah.
because
we won't go much further.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, let me say this really quick.
Yeah.
Here we're gonna mega brain.
Okay.
Fantasy football. So do you know how ADP is aggregated?
No.
It's based on the market.
Sure.
Based on how people draft.
Correct. Yeah, it's kind of like the stock market.
Who's drafting throughout the offseason? Sickos like me.
Okay.
It's sickos. It's all the people who follow football throughout, the preseason and offseason, all that stuff.
Yeah.
These are the people that are drafting while they're watching the rookie draft, and they can't wait to draft right after the rookie draft. There's this thing that happens every year. It's called prospect fatigue. It basically where you talk about how good a prospect is for so long leading up to the draft. Then the draft happens. And then by the time the draft happens, you're just kind of like, yeah, they're good. Yeah. And you forget all the things you were saying about them and all the things you were like, this guy's so good.
Yeah.
Prospect fatigue is a real thing. And I think it's happening really hard this year with the first round receivers. So I had to leave that in there. Except for Jamar. Yeah. So anyway, let's go. I'm thinking mainly of like T-Mac, Travis Hunter, Emeka.
Yeah.
I was just finishing that last thought.
Oh,
anyway,
got it.
All right, you got a tight end for me.
Yeah. So Tyler Warren, go get him. He plays
804.
He plays for
Shout
Indiana Jones right now, right? That's that nickname. Indiana Jones, Daniel Jones. In the preseason, he had 6 targets, 4 catches, 65 yards.
Nice.
In the preseason.
Nice.
Limited snaps. I don't know the exact snap count. Right. And so if you're pumping out, I don't even know what those numbers are. I think like 15 yards. They're like more than 15 yards a catch.
Yep.
That's crazy.
It's great.
And we talked about this at length previously, but they are going to feed Tyler Warren.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know if it'll be Brock Bowers level of, production that we saw last year. I mean, anything can happen, obviously, injuries and with all these guys, but Tyler Warren is my tight end that I'm going for. And I took him in one league, couldn't get him in the other league, unfortunately, but go get him. Again, we talked about earlier how the path to, like a top 5 tight end is very easy, actually.
Yeah.
And so that's one of those positions where they're going to get you like 8 points or like 20 points.
Yep.
And this is a guy, especially like PPR, even half-point PPR.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you just target him early, earlier than you probably expect to. I would say probably around like round 8 is where I would take Tyler Warren. But go get Tyler Warren. They're going to feed him the ball. He's going to become a staple of that offense.
Yeah. He's another guy I'm coming around on, or I've been coming around on because as a prospect, obviously he had a great senior season, but didn't really do much at all. And he sat behind guys like Theo Johnson, the starting tight end for the Giants, who hadn't done much at all right now. So I didn't really love him as a prospect. And then he got drafted to the Colts.
Yeah.
I'm like, Colts are a dumpster fire, but the more I've come around to it, seeing some of this preseason action and then them announcing Daniel Jones as a starter.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones. I'm like in lockstep with you. They're going to feed this guy. I just traded for him in a league. I had to have him.
Yeah.
Traded a lot to get him too. But I think, and this has been a recipe for finding a breakout tight end for the last 2 years now.
Yeah.
Actually, really, it's probably 3 years because Kyle Pitts, I think, was 3 years ago, maybe 4 years. But Kyle Pitts, rookie tight end. For a long time in fantasy football, it was always avoid the rookie tight end because tight end was such a hard position for most tight ends to understand.
Sure.
Moving from college to NFL and how they're deployed. Kyle Pitts broke that. He hit 1,000 yards his rookie season. Obviously, we know the story of Kyle Pitts. Pretty sad. 2 years ago, it was Sam Laporta.
Yep.
Sam Laporta was a late round, very late round guy. I mean, he was probably going in like the 13th, 14th round. He was a no-name, kind of guy.
Or undrafted in a lot of rounds.
Undrafted in a lot of teams.
Or a lot of teams.
Yeah. And Sam Laporta was the rookie tight end 1 that year. And overall, like a tight end, like 3, 4, 5, something like that. Last year, it was Brock Bowers.
Yep.
And Brock Bowers, we faded him because of the landing spot. We faded him because he's a rookie tight end, and we keep thinking about Kyle Pitts and what he did and broke all of our hearts. And then Brock Bowers just smashed. And crazy. So, I think that Tyler Warren, Colston Loveland, they're both great targets to get, and then you can draft another late round tight end just to hedge your bets. But like we talked about already, early tight end, if you get one of those top 3 guys, you're feeling awesome. Right. You don't have to do any maneuvering to try to find you a tight end. After those top 3, to me, there's no difference between a TJ Hawkinson and a Tyler Warren.
Exactly.
If you like Tyler Warren better than Hawkinson, you can take him early. Don't do that, obviously. Try to make it a reach within reason. Right. But Tyler Warren is a guy who's got the path to upside. He's going to get peppered with targets. And that's how he did that his final season in Penn State. Yeah. It was all yak stuff. It was all short balls, and so I just think he's dominant. And he looks so good. Yeah. Like I said last week, he looks like Jeremy Shockey. Did you ever look up Jeremy Shockey?
Yeah.
He looks just like him. So I love it. Great take.
Yeah. Love Tyler.
You ready?
Let's go.
I'm about to become a sicko.
Oh, boy.
All right. My must draft tight end. You cannot leave your draft without him.
Okay.
Harold Fannin Jr., Cleveland Browns.
Wow.
Crazy.
Wow.
We just talked about him last week.
Yeah.
It's just, it gets better and better. I was listening to a podcast today. They're talking about Tyler Warren, and how can we fade this guy? Because he just put up the greatest tight end season of all time in college, that last season. I was wrong because Harold Fannin had the best tight end season of all time.
Wow.
Tyler Warren, I think, put up 1,100 yards and something like 10 to 12, maybe 14 touchdowns.
Okay.
Harold Fannin, 1,500 yards.
Oh my gosh.
With 15 touchdowns. And he played for Bowling Green. So
that's ridiculous.
And his best games were not against South Louisiana State.
Sure.
It was against Penn State. And Penn State had one of the best defenses in college football last year. Yeah. So, I think he put up 200 something yards.
Yeah.
And 2-3 touchdowns on him. Harold Fannin is that good.
That's crazy.
So Harold Fannin was a mega producer in college. He's an excellent route runner despite his tightness and his mobility. He is the weirdest runner. I said it last week. Looks like Jay Ajayi after the hip injury. He runs duck-footed. He doesn't look fluid at all, but somehow this guy gets open all the time.
Maybe the defenders out there just getting confused by his feet.
Pretty much.
What are you doing?
I think that's a real thing. I think the awkwardness of his body does give him an advantage because he knows what he's doing, but other people can't guess.
Yeah.
He all throughout preseason, he rested with the starters until week 3, where he started with the ones, played with Joe Flacco. He didn't do a whole lot. He is a horrendous blocker. I will say that. He went out there. He played fullback twice and ran up and stood straight up as soon as they snapped the ball and let two consecutive plays. The guy just blew past him. Wow. And he didn't even look. It just was so bad.
That sucks.
So that's not good. But here's the thing. I don't think he's really going to play tight end. Yeah. I think he's the team starting slot receiver.
Wow. Interesting.
So this is this is a spicy hot take.
Yeah.
And this is one where you're going to draft him in the last round of your draft.
Yeah, of course.
Nobody is looking at Harold Fannin. But they're signaling to us that he's starting.
Sure.
They have Njoku, and Njoku's a good blocker. So Njoku's going to play. They just cut Deontay Johnson today. I don't know if you remember, but all throughout camp, they were talking about Deontay Johnson being probably the starting slot receiver.
Sure.
Besides Deontay, they've got Cedric Tillman playing on the outside with Jerry Jeudy, and then maybe Jamari Thrash, who is Jamari Thrash?
Okay. Yeah.
They don't have anybody to play slot who's decent. Harold Fannin.
There's a void.
The Harold Fannin can pop right in there. And here's the thing. just like Tyler Warren played in college. You know, he was a do-it-all guy. So he was getting wide receiver sweeps. He was running the ball out of the backfield. He was catching screens and all this yard after catch, like, type stuff.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a Debo role, but for a tight end.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like this new trend. Harold Fannin is going to play that role.
I wonder, like, if you can have him as basically, like, if that's true, these fantasy apps are going to have him listed as a tight end, right?
Yeah.
But you could essentially have, like, I don't know how many wide receivers you have, but put him in your flex.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
As like another wide receiver.
If he's playing wide receiver snaps,
yeah,
then like he could smash in the tight end spot.
Now,
Now,
like the Taysom Hill thing.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah. But we're going to temper our expectations and be realistic.
Sure.
The Browns offense is going to be pretty bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
But once again, like at his cost, he's going around a bunch of guys that are probably going to be zeros for the whole year.
Exactly.
Nobody
will ever start unless you're in a really bad situation.
If he can give you 10 points per game, that's like a top 8 tight end season.
Exactly. Exactly.
So like this is what we're talking about with tight ends. If you don't get one of those top guys, go late. Go get Evan Ingram and then take Harold Fannin, who's a similar bet to Evan Ingram.
Yep.
Based on just getting pure volume. I think the Browns are going to, especially the beginning of the season. Here's the other good thing. They play the Bengals week 1.
Oh my gosh.
So they're playing with Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
So we're going to get a really good look at how they want to use Harold Fannin, and the Bengals aren't going to be able to stop it. This is what I'm so excited for.
You're giving me chills over here. That's
it feels like holy. So that's my tight end guy. So
cool.
Let's move on. We both have a sleeper pick for this year.
Yeah.
Deep rounds, late rounds.
Yeah,
These are the guys you get at the very end of your draft.
Late rounds.
Right before you take your defense and kicker.
Yep. It's so deep that in my first draft, I forgot to draft him. Like I was just going through and I was like, oh no. Like I ran out of slots because I needed my kicker and my defense. And so I ran out of slots and I was like, no, I didn't grab him. And now, like, I've got Bill in that league and I'm should I drop him for this guy?
Yeah.
This guy is Ollie Gordon the second. Last week I said it was Ollie Gordon the third. You said it was the second. I was like, no, it's the third, but I was wrong. I looked up. Yeah, it's the second. Yeah.
I know ball.
Ollie Gordon the second will be the second running back on the Miami Dolphins. This guy is a monster. Yep. He's a monster. Devin Achane is already dealing with a calf injury. And those injuries, I mean, you ever get a Charlie horse in the middle of the night? Dude, like that thing can linger for like 3 or 4 days.
I literally have just stopped limping from last week.
Right, last week. Exactly.
That's a great example.
Exactly. And that's just a Charlie horse. Yeah. Like whatever this calf injury is, dude, you don't know. I think there's a real chance that Achane misses like 2 or 3 games to start the season.
Wow.
I think so. Okay, here's my thing. If you can get Achane, get him, and then use Ollie Gordon as your handcuff by any means necessary. Yeah. It's like go get him in super late rounds. If somebody grabs him by accident, go trade him peanuts for him.
Yep.
Ollie Gordon, this preseason had 26 carries for 126 yards and a touchdown.
That's great.
To go with 3 receptions for 48 yards.
Yep.
That's 16 yards catch.
Yep.
This guy is going to eat. And I didn't have any of these stats when we started talking about him after preseason week 1.
Yeah.
And I try to temper my expectations for all these preseason games because they're preseason. Right. It's not, again, we talk about it all the time, but it's not truly what we're going to see on Sundays. But this guy, he passes, and I said this over and over again, he passes the eye test. You look at him and you say, that is an NFL starting running back. That guy looks great. And I think that Achane could deal with some injuries, and then it turns into the Raheem Mostert, Devin Achane type role that they had when they dropped 70 on the Broncos a couple years ago. I think that this guy is going to go absolutely bananas this year. Yeah. So Ollie Gordon the second, go get him, go draft him, go pick him up off waiver wires. Like you're going to need him at some point this year. I promise you, he's going to get some significant playing time.
You need to get on the Ollie train.
Get on the Ollie train, man.
I'm with Trey on this one. I mean, we've signaled this in some of the training camp news the last 2 weeks, I think. But this has been a hole that's been in the Miami team since Raheem Mostert left.
Yep.
They tried to draft Jalen Wright to fill that hole, and Jalen Wright just abysmal.
Yeah.
Just not very good at all. Like you said, A-Chain is dealing with some injuries right now. So there's some standalone value for Ollie Gordon right out the bat. Plus Jalen Wright is hurt as well. So like it's his backfield. Like there is no arguing that.
Yeah.
It is his backfield. And then even here's the good thing, because I love A-Chain. Like I love him. He's probably like one of my favorite guys to draft
So good.
this year. He's so boomer bust, and I love it. I love the risk that comes. It's just so
He's
good.
like Kenneth Walker, Brees Hall.
This is not a bad thing for Devin A-Chain, for Ollie Gordon to be ascending.
Yeah.
This is actually a good thing for him, because A-Chain is the type of guy that he doesn't need to be out there carrying a full workload. We saw that last year, and it wasn't really good. He didn't look as explosive as he did 2 years ago. He wasn't breaking off as many big runs. He didn't have the same efficiency he had year one. And I think that was very much in part to the fact that he was playing a bell cow role while being 180 pounds.
Yeah.
You know, and that takes a lot of toll on a guy's body.
Yep.
Plus he was catching like 8 to 10 passes a game.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to pull up. Is he had 907 yards rushing, 203 carries. And then he had 78 receptions for another 592.
Yeah,
exactly. Crazy.
So like, and Jalen Wright was just abysmal.
Yeah.
You put in an Ollie Gordon who can take those early downs and let A-Chan come in and run the third down plays.
Just relieve him.
And relieve him.
It keeps both of them fresh.
Yeah. And then A-Chan can take a couple drives where he's playing first, second, third down, you know, like just keeping them both fresh. You know, it's a win-win. And we've seen this already happen before. And don't be too late on Ollie Gordon, because he has the same touchdown upside that Raheem Mostert had 2 years ago when he hit, what was it, 23, 24 touchdowns in a year? Ridiculous. And he was you could start both of them on the same team.
Yeah.
You know, so this isn't like you're handcuffing A-Chain. To me, you're just taking two backs and a very successful backfield.
Yep.
So I love this.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw you put Ollie Gordon on there. I was like, Tree knows ball.
I love Ollie Gordon.
I would hate to be in a league with you, because I feel like we would snipe one another so bad.
Dude, you know what's
we would take
what's weird? Like if you drop somebody, like I might be looking to pick them up and be like, there was a reason you picked him up. Like I'm gonna grab him just in case that reason comes to fruition. Yeah. All right. Who you got?
My sleeper.
Okay.
And this is no surprise. I mean, I've already talked about him today.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, exactly. Aaron Rodgers, sleeper, MVP of the year. No, Bashal Tootin.
Oh, yeah.
Bashal Tootin. You know, like I said, I've talked about Bashal over and over and over again. His price continues to drop. And I think it's unwarranted, completely unwarranted. Don't know what it is about all these Jaguars players that are just dropping. I think that's going to be such a high-powered offense.
Yeah.
So Bashal Tootin, excellent prospect. Elite tackle avoidance and yards created, which is a stat that's a lot of people have started using rather than yards per carry, because yards per carry can be so dependent on offensive line.
Yeah.
Like Saquon with the Giants his yards per carry was really bad due to his offensive line. Yards created is a stat that was made by a guy named Graham Barfield that's really predictive of future NFL success. And basically it measures your yards that you create after contact. And so the guys that lead in this are really elite players, like Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan Robinson. These are all guys who are elite in Bijan, yards created. Not only that, he runs 4.3 speed, 4.32 to be exact. And he's got strength to finish runs. We saw this. He pushed the pile in preseason about 5 yards to get into the end zone. This is also an ambiguous backfield where we don't really know what's going to happen. You know, it could be ETN, could be Bigsby, could be Bashal.
Yeah.
You know, and the cost associated with each one, I think ETN and Bigsby, ETN's probably going in like the 7th or 8th. Bigsby's probably going in the 8th or 9th. And then Bashal's like 15th. Bashal's going really late and later than Bill. And he was drafted higher than Bill by 3 rounds. He was a guy that they took, the Jags took after they were sniped on RJ Harvey.
Yeah.
This is Liam Cohen coming over from the Buccaneers with Bucky Irving. He's the Bucky Irving coach.
Yep.
You know, and this guy is very similar to Bucky Irving. elite. And Bucky Irving, the big thing he had going for him was yards created.
Yeah.
He was the best back in creating yards on his own. And so we saw that translate to the NFL last year. Now imagine Bucky Irving if he ran a 4.3. I think Bucky runs like a 4.6.
Yeah.
It's not very fast. Imagine he runs a 4.3.
Yeah.
Be
crazy.
And so that's why I think Bashal Tutin, once again, these are guys you're probably going to cut throughout the first couple of weeks of the year if they don't pan out. I'm taking a risk on a guy who's young, explosive, strong. The other thing is this is a brand new coaching regime who's inheriting ETN and Bigsby.
True.
And they hand selected
Right.
Bashal.
This is their guy.
Yeah. So I love Bashal.
So ETN to the Cowboys.
I love ETN to the Cowboys. Heck, send Bigsby to the Texans.
Just
get rid of all of them.
Send them
Let's
both
do
to
it.
Texas.
Because LaQuint Allen's another undrafted rookie for them. That he's decent. He's like a bigger guy, like a LeGarrette Blunt, but he's like a pass catcher. So it's really kind of wild. So that's my sleeper for the year.
Sick.
I can't wait to see how these takes age.
Yeah.
But now we're gonna hit the fades, and we're at about an hour 45.
Yeah,
so
we're gonna run through them.
We'll run through them quick.
Yeah.
So
we only have 3 each. I'm doing a. Let me see. I gotta remember what I'm doing. Running back, wide receiver, and a tight end.
That's right.
That's what I'm doing.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep. If you need it, I got it.
Cool. Yep. So I want to start because I want.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Do it.
Your first one that you have. Where do you want to? Do you want to do that?
You want to just go now?
Yeah, I'll just do it.
No, you go.
All right. So my first fade. I'm a Broncos guy, but fade RJ Harvey.
Oof.
I
thought we were friends.
That's your guy.
I thought you knew
I
ball.
know you love RJ Harvey. It's not for my lack of confidence in RJ Harvey, but rather how he's going to be utilized throughout the season. So I think that JK is going to be the number one. I think I think they're just waiting for him to get injured, so they're going to use him as much as they can until it comes to that point.
Right.
Not injury prone. I mean, I'm not going to say that, but he does have a track record of getting.
He's got
injured.
a lengthy history of injuries.
Yes,
he has
exactly.
no knees.
He has
no more
knees.
ACLs.
Yeah, so I think they'll lean on him. He's a veteran. He knows, at this point, he probably knows like every running scheme that there is. So he's gonna be able to just slip right in.
Yeah.
They tried to run RJ Harvey throughout the preseason, and we just didn't see that explosion. That I was really hoping for and expecting, and especially this last preseason game, they played the Saints, and he had 4 touches. He had 3 carries for 4 yards and 1 catch for 1 yard. That to me, I think there are some things that he's got to work on. I don't know if it's his vision. I don't know if it's certain decisions he's making when he's got the ball. But I'm a little weary of it. And honestly, the O-line doesn't look good. And at first last year I was saying it's the running backs. The running backs suck. And all the stats and all the statistics point to the O-line being the best in the NFL. You talked about it earlier in this podcast. But when you look at it, I mean, pressure's getting to Bo, pressure's getting to whatever quarterback is back there. It doesn't look like holes are opening up.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, you'd have to go back and like really look at like the coach's film probably to see like if holes are opening and the running backs are just missing them or whatever that may be. But I'm worried about the running game, Denver's running game overall.
Wow.
And not to mention when it gets down like under the 30-yard line.
Yeah.
Sean really loves this guy, Jaleel McLaughlin.
Uh-huh.
He loves swing passes to him. He loves bubble screens.
Yep.
He loves getting him the ball when we get to like the red zone plus a little bit,
Yeah,
that
sure.
kind of area. He loves going to Jaleel.
Yeah.
And I think that he's going to lean on him over a rookie that he hasn't seen a whole lot from.
Right.
So as much as I would love to be on the RJ hype train, am. I mean, I love him because of my biases.
Yeah.
But I think I'm staying away from him.
Yeah.
I like in my drafts, like I'm not going for RJ Harvey just because
Wow.
I worry about the entire the running back room over there. So I am a Broncos fan. I love all the Broncos, but man, it's hard for me to get on board with this for fantasy purposes right now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I can't just let you have that and not say anything. I'm going to push back.
Cool.
So I actually think that J.K. Dobbins and R.J. Harvey could both be really good running backs this year. I think they both have. I think it's similar to what I was just talking about with Achane and Ollie Gordon, where J.K. allows R.J. to be the receiving back, the more explosive back on third downs or early downs at times. J.K. is going to be the grinder as long as he can stay healthy.
Yeah.
They just cut Audric Estime. Wah.
Yeah.
I know they love. I know they like Jaleel last year.
Yeah.
That's because Jaleel was the most explosive running back out of the backfield last year. It's like Javonte Williams and Audric Estime, super slow. If you depending on what league settings you're in, I mean, I think even half point PPR or full point PPR. If you're in full point PPR, RJ Harvey is going to smash. Denver led the league last year. Well, they were 5th in the league last year in running back targets with Javonte Williams, who had 70 targets.
Yeah.
Slow Javonte. You go back to 2023, right? Yeah, 2023.
I actually think that he was the second leading receiver on the team.
Yeah.
I'm not even joking.
That's what I'm saying.
You have Court and then Javonte.
This is something weird. Sean Payton loves doing.
Yeah.
It's his offensive scheme.
I mean, look at
in
Kamara.
2023, they were the leading team in running back targets.
Yeah.
And so I don't see that trend stopping because we saw it in New Orleans. It's a trend that's continued. I think Dobbins is going to catch some passes, but the more natural pass catcher is RJ Harvey.
Sure.
And I agree. I think there is some things he's got to work on, coming into college, like his vision, just his choices that he makes.
Yeah.
But I think we saw a very conservative RJ Harvey in the preseason. It'll remain to be seen. We'll see in the first 3-4 weeks.
Yeah. What
his burst is like. I mean, he ran like a 4.4.
Yeah.
So he is fast. We just got to get him into open field, and they really didn't do that a whole lot in preseason. And that's why I'm going to push back and say RJ Harvey is not a fade. He's going to pay off because I think he's going in the 6th round or something like that.
Yeah,
I'd take him in the 4th.
He went late. Wow.
Yeah.
You're slappy.
I'm slappy.
Yeah.
I'm slappy. It's so hard to not take all rookies around like 4th or like 8.
Yeah. We got a comment from Victor. I wanted to put that up there. Victor, we talked about you earlier about the hot dog situation. Will CMC finally win my league for me this year?
Shakes the magic 8 ball. Remains to be seen.
Yeah. Oh,
bummer.
I don't know, man.
Honestly, if CMC stays healthy, we're back in. Like I'm all in.
He made the championship last year.
Did you?
He did.
Good for you.
I don't know. Yeah.
I really like McCaffrey this year. I think people are way too low on him. I think he's going like 1-8, like later in the first round for most people.
I did say, and Victor, you're gonna like this. I did see this thing that was like when Christian McCaffrey went like number 1 overall. That's like when he had his bad years, but when he wasn't going like towards the end of the first round, that's when he crushed it. And I think Victor had like pick 7 or something like that this year. So
people are just scared off about that Achilles injury that they said it was Achilles tendonitis, and I don't know what all that entails, but they're saying it's a long-term injury.
Yeah.
I just think he started the whole year last year hurt in training camp.
Yeah.
So like the fact that he came in and played later in the year and didn't play well and then got hurt again, I think he was just dealing with injuries again last year.
Yeah.
Right now he's fresh. Everybody in San Fran is dying. Yeah. Everybody in San Fran is getting hurt.
Yeah.
No CMC on the injury report at all.
Yeah.
Not scared. And that, like I talked about earlier, you got to embrace risk at some point.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
So you're risking a lot when you take CMC, but if he hits, that's
it.
Potential 24, 25 points a game.
I was going to say like 30 points a game.
Yep. I mean, it's legendary.
With the lack of targets that they have no Debo. They have, I mean, we talked about Ricky a little bit earlier. But yeah, he's going to go ballistic.
And he might not have to carry the ball 30 times, 25 times, because Brian Robinson's there to take some of those ugly carries away.
True.
But McCaffrey's going to be the goal line guy. He's going to be catching passes out of the backfield. I love him.
He also said, as long as he does not put ketchup on his hot dog.
Oh,
You got to go back and listen to what Cam said.
You got to go back because I love ketchup.
It was early in the podcast. You should rewind to it.
And on my first fade is mustard on hot dogs.
Yeah.
No, all right. So I'll go into my fade. My first fade is wide receiver Garrett Wilson.
Oh,
Wide receiver Garrett Wilson.
That's spicy.
Yeah. I love Garrett Wilson.
I do too.
I really love Garrett Wilson. Unfortunately, he's going to be like one of the all-time like biggest what ifs.
Yeah,
because I think his talent level, he could be like a Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase type guy, but he's just been stuck in New York for so long, and it's only gotten worse. I mean, Fields is there, and there's a lot of talk about Fields and him like reigniting their college chemistry because they played together at Ohio State, but here's a problem. Justin Fields is not a good passing quarterback. I think he's going to be a good fantasy quarterback.
Yeah.
If I had an extra take, I'd tell you he's going to be a sneaky, like late round guy because he runs so much.
There's another bonus.
There's another bonus for you. But I don't see Garrett Wilson, he's going to get his targets. It's going to be similar to last year. It's going to be similar to every year he's had where, he gets a ton of targets because he's the only option there.
Yeah.
But they're not good targets. They're not quality targets. Defenses are going to be keying in on them.
Yeah.
And so he's going to be kind of virtually like if you were the Denver Broncos and you're playing the New York Jets, you're going to cover Garrett Wilson.
Pat Surtain goes on Garrett Wilson.
You might even put a shade of safety over top of him.
Yeah, I don't need that. Pat Surtain.
That's right. You do have Pat Surtain. Yeah. But, double coverage is in the books because who's their second receiver?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Breece Hall, maybe?
Yeah.
Even the stuff they're talking about Breece Hall, I'm scared, man, because Breece Hall's so good, but they're talking about running a committee. I just think the Jets offense is going to be really, really bad this year. I think they're going to be run first, and I just don't see Garrett Wilson paying off at his price. And I'd much rather take a T-Mac and a ascending passing offense than a Garrett Wilson and a very bad offense.
I agree. Although the only other receivers on that team, the other starters, Josh Reynolds and Allen Lazard.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. That doesn't always mean it's a good thing.
That's true. I mean, that's true. And like you said,
George Pickens last year with the Steelers.
Yeah, true.
Great talent.
True.
I think he's a top tier talent. But, with no other receivers on the team, other defenses are just keying in on George Pickens because they're not scared of Calvin Austin or whoever else they slide out there. So that's my take. I think Garrett Wilson, I think he goes in the 3rd to the 4th round. I'd much rather just take Tataroa. I'd take Xavier Worthy. I'd take a lot of guys over him. So, no Garrett Wilson for me.
Cool.
So, who do you have next, Trey?
I have, let's see, my fades. Wide receiver Cooper Kupp.
Woo. You're fading him?
I'm fading Cooper Kupp. I'm a big Cooper Kupp fan.
Yeah.
I am. He's aging, obviously, and the Rams essentially traded him for Devontae Adams.
Right.
So they traded one aging wide receiver for another one.
Yeah.
There's a reason for that. They have their reasons. I don't know what those reasons are.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can go back and you can look at Jordan Addison when he was the number 2 last year to Justin Jefferson. He had an okay season. He had 875 yards and 9 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp doesn't have that same star power to his name that he used to.
Yeah.
And I don't know where he's getting drafted, but I know in one of our drafts he went like 6th round or something. That's too rich for me.
Too rich.
That's really
Way
rich
too
for
rich.
me. I mean, if you can get him like 10 or later, go for it.
Yeah.
But I don't bank on Cooper Kupp being your number 1 receiver.
Yeah.
He's not going to be that guy this year. I mean, he's coming into Seattle where they're really going to lean heavily, like you said, on Kenneth Walker or Zach Charbonnet.
Yep.
I mean,
Either
and
one.
then, JSN is going to be your number 1. Cooper Kupp is kind of going to take a backseat to, both of those guys.
Yep.
And I just don't see how he's going to, I don't know. I think it's going to be disappointing. I think like 700 yards or less.
Yeah.
And like maybe like
5 touchdowns. 4 or 5. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm
something like that.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
I mean, and then he goes to Sam Darnold, which is a major downgrade at quarterback from Matt Stafford.
And that's why I pulled
Darnold.
up. That's why I pulled up Jordan Addison, because they had Sam Darnold last year,
right?
And that was a good Minnesota Vikings team, and I would say that this Seattle Seahawks team is worse than that team. So
very much. I definitely agree. I mean, we just saw it last year with Kupp. He was not explosive.
Yeah.
He didn't have the same, juice he used to have. It was the Puka Nacua show last year.
Yep.
And Kupp was kind of a drag to own in fantasy. So I'm out on Kupp. If I can get him in the 12th, like 11th, 12th round, maybe 10th,
sure.
Depending on who's there, I'll do that. But most of the time when I'm drafting that late anyway, I'm going for young, explosive guys who could have the chance to break out.
Yeah, exactly.
Cooper Kupp's going to play that role of safe points. So if you've already taken a bunch of risks early on, maybe Cooper Kupp is a good fit for your team because he's potential safe points of like 10 points a game to start off the year. But I mean, we don't even know if he's going to make it through the whole year. So, I'm right there with you. All right. My next fade. I went all out on the fades.
Okay.
I tried to get guys in the top 3 rounds who I could fade. Wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr.
Ooh,
this one
sucks. I drafted him.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
Oh man, this one pains me.
Yeah.
And it's probably a personal thing I have because I drafted Marvin Harrison last year in rookie drafts.
Yeah,
over Malik Neighbors probably 5 or 6 times.
Oh my gosh.
I think I drafted Neighbors once because I was like, let me go a little different. But I loved Marvin Harrison as a prospect.
Yeah.
I still think Marvin Harrison is an incredible football player.
Is it the Kyler effect?
It's the combination of the Cardinals. It's the Cardinals effect.
Yeah.
So, last year, it wasn't a bad year. I think he had about 800 yards receiving, and he did have 8 touchdowns. So that was good. But there was just so much more meat left on the bone. And if you watch the games, that was especially painful. I couldn't watch Cardinals games because it just pained me. The way Marvin Harrison was deployed was as a deep ball guy. They sent him deep, or they just used him as a decoy. So he wasn't even involved in the play, and he would just run away from the ball. That was often what they did with him, which is really weird to do with what did they pick him at 4 overall?
Yeah.
To do with your 4th overall pick. Because it just opened up the field for Trey McBride, Michael Wilson, who is not good, and Zay Jones. What Marvin Harrison needs is more easy, like gimme targets.
Yeah.
I mean, you see that with Neighbors. Neighbors gets a ton of gimme targets. He'll make like good catches down the field and make some nicer, longer plays. But a lot of it is easy stuff near the line of scrimmage that utilizes him as a downfield runner.
Yeah.
Now, Marvin Harrison's not the same type of guy. He's a bigger dude. He's stronger. But he reminds me of like a AJ Brown, where he could take a slant to the house. And that's what he needs more of is slant routes, screens, just get him in open field just to get him going.
They're just not using him right.
They're not using him right. Yeah. And so usually to see a guy change year over year like him, who was kind of a failure based on the expectations for him last year, you want to see a head coaching change or an offensive coordinator change.
Yeah.
That's what happened with JSN. JSN was touted as like the number 1 rookie receiver 2 years ago.
Yep.
He had a horrible first year, but his coach was Matt Eberflus.
Yeah.
Matt Eberflus, JSN, everybody was fading JSN last year, and he was great last year.
Yeah. Great.
I mean, he was, I think, a top 15 receiver. Roma Dunze last year with Matt Eberflus again, so bad. He's looks in line to jump, back up to what he's worth. But Marvin Harrison, they still have Drew Petzing, the offensive coordinator, and they still have that Dingleberry, Jonathan Gannon.
Yeah.
To me, I don't see the changes as much as I love Marvin Harrison, and I would love to draft him because I do think where he goes is really not a bad place to draft him.
Yeah.
He's just not somebody I'm going to mess around with.
Yeah.
I'd much rather take stabs at other guys and just be the guy who was wrong on Marvin Harrison.
Yeah, I took a risk this year. Obviously, I drafted him, but we'll see.
Where'd you get him?
Let me see.
Yeah, I'm curious.
I'll find it. Real quick, while I'm finding that, This is a good question for you.
Okay.
Got a trade offer.
All right. I got a trade offer. Send Pickens from my team to upgrade to DK. What do you think? So I don't necessarily think that Pickens to DK would be an upgrade. I'm very, very high on Pickens in this offense. I think the Cowboys offense is going to be very explosive. I think Dak is, we've had multiple takes on the show about Dak potentially returning to MVP form. CeeDee Lamb on the opposite side of Pickens just opens up the field even more for Pickens. I think Pickens is going to have a career year. I think you could see him go for 1,200, 1,300 yards and like 7-8 touchdowns.
That's crazy.
I mean, CeeDee Lamb probably would go for 1,700 and 12 touchdowns. They don't have any running backs there. The offensive line is very good, so Dak's going to have plenty of time to throw the ball. But outside of those two guys, those are the options.
You don't like Fergie? I know.
Ferg's not a bad option,
yeah,
but he's not going to go get like tons of yardage. But talking about DK, the Steelers offense just we don't know what's going to happen there. I mean, we don't know what Aaron Rodgers we're getting.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers hasn't been good for about 3 years,
and he's a Steelers fan.
I'm a Steelers fan.
Yeah.
I'm a Steelers fan. Aaron Rodgers hasn't been good for 3 years. We didn't see him at all in preseason. So we really don't know what's going to happen. And I love DK. I think DK is great. I was stoked when we traded a second-round pick for DK because I think that's a great, just trade away your second-round pick. Steelers, burn second-round picks every year on trash players. So why not go get DK, who we know is good?
Yeah.
I just think that team is going to be very run-heavy. I'll put it to you this way. Arthur Smith had Drake London, drafted Drake London 8th overall, and had Tyler Algier and Bijan. They ran the ball all game long, and Drake London is a top-tier talent in the league. And I think he finished that year with like 700-800 yards and a couple scores. I mean, I think Metcalf will probably finish under 1,000 yards this year. And sub minus 8 touchdowns. So in response to this, I don't think you send Pickens. I think you stick with Pickens. I think that's a good call.
Yeah. So you're saying it's not even an upgrade.
Yeah. I don't think it's an upgrade.
Yeah.
I'd much rather see what we have in Pickens, see what happens there than move over to DK and a bad offense.
I'm with you. Actually.
You want to buy players. When you buy players, you want to buy players in good offenses.
Yeah.
There are good players on bad offenses that do well, but more often than not, you want players who play on good offenses.
Yeah.
I think Pickens is on a very good offense. I would keep Pickens. I wouldn't trade him for DK.
Yeah, I agree. And there's a reason that they're offering that to you.
Yeah.
It's because they think it's a better bet for you. They think you have the better player, which is why they're trying to get it from you.
Now, if they want to give you something else on top,
spice it up.
a little Bashal Tootin,
or a little
action,
Bucky Irving,
maybe I'd be a little, I'd be more enthused about that trade. But straight up, I'll just take Pickens.
Yeah.
So, all right, where are we at? I just did mine. Give me your last fade.
Yeah, my last fade is it's a pretty spicy one. I tried to go different position groups. So I went tight end here, and I went to fade Mark Andrews. Yeah, he's gonna be good the first part of the season, but if you watched any of the Ravens games last year, he looked different. Yeah, he did not look like the force he had been the last 3 or 4 years prior to that.
Yep.
And I think the big thing here is that the extension that they gave Isaiah Likely is really what that's telling. They're saying, we want Isaiah Likely to be our guy. He's still really young. He's only entering. He came in 2022, right? So, so this is year 4 for him. They're expecting Isaiah Likely to really take over that role as tight end 1. So I think when he comes back from his injury, that is what's happening.
Yeah,
is that it's the Isaiah Likely show, and it's no longer Mark Andrews. I'm actually surprised Mark Andrews didn't get traded. Well, it wouldn't surprise me if he got traded in the next couple days.
Yeah, that wouldn't really surprise me either.
And then things change a little bit because then you wonder who he goes to. But I don't know. As it currently stands, like I think you can get some good fantasy points from him initially.
Yeah.
Yeah, by the end of the season.
So yeah. So maybe they won't trade him now that I think about it, just because I think they're contenders and they probably
True.
need somebody until they get Likely. But I think that he is a trade potential, I do like Likely probably more than Andrews. Here's the only thing I'll say about Andrews is that injury that he sustained in 2023 was really weird. A pedal ankle ligament tear, which is a really weird injury.
That sounds made up.
Yeah, I know it does sound made up. But apparently it just was a weird injury. He looked way different. You're like so right with how different he looked.
Now, in his defense, he finished like tight end 4 overall.
Right. But
we talked about this. There's so many good tight ends that we already have gotten there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't trade the farm for Mark Andrews this year, where it has been like in the past, where you have round 3 and you got a good running back, you got a good wide receiver already. Maybe you throw like the end of round 3 on a tight end like Mark Andrews. Don't do that this year.
Yeah. And the thing with Mark Andrews is, what do you get when you win?
Yeah.
You're probably going to get a 10-point per game guy.
Yeah.
But you're probably taking him in like the 6th, 7th round, and you're taking him over guys like Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
So like the opportunity cost of taking a Mark Andrews over a Travis Hunter, it's just bad when you could potentially get Jake Okonkwo, Harold Fannin, some of these really late guys.
Yeah.
Even Jake Ferguson.
I would take Jake Ferguson, Evan Ingram.
Ingram.
Yeah, I would take Tyler Warren. I would take all these guys over Mark Andrews just for the uncertainty of the whole
Tucker
situation.
Kraft.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of guys later that they call it the tight end dead zone. There's like a middle part of drafts after you get past the first 3, and then you go from like 4 down to like 10 of the tight end spectrum. And those guys just tend not to do very well.
Yeah.
Drafting mid-round tight ends don't pay off at what their ADP cost is. So, I'm right there with you. I'm fully down to fade Mark Andrews.
Yeah, that wraps up my fades though. Yeah, we got more from you though.
Give my final take.
Let's go.
This is the clickbait, but it's not. It's real. I'm backing this up with stats. I'm fading Saquon Barkley this year.
Saquon Barkley.
I said that into the camera so that if I'm wrong one day, y'all can.
You guys roast him.
Yeah, roast me.
When he told me that, I was like, "You're gonna get flamed. You're gonna get crushed."
I have an interesting history with Saquon. At my first ever dynasty league, I was trash. Or no, I drafted. I was trash. But my first pick and the 6th overall pick or something like that, I took Saquon Barkley, and it was great. He had a great rookie year, and like a dingbat, because the rest of my team was bad. I was like, well, let me trade Saquon and get some other pieces for him, and then I'll kind of rebuild my team without Saquon. Even though I love Saquon, I just gotta move him. So I traded him for Darius Geis and like 2 first-round picks, which was nice to get 2 first-round picks. Darius Geis or Juice, whatever. Yeah. He didn't do anything.
Yeah.
So that sucked. I bought into Saquon last year before the season.
Good time to buy in.
Well, I was as soon as he went to the Eagles, I just was like, this is going to be insane for Saquon.
Yeah.
And then
perfect situation.
Most of the fantasy people were like, that I listened to were like, Saquon is just kind of,
That's interesting.
He didn't go till like the 2nd, 3rd round last year.
What?
Mm-hmm. Most leagues, he wasn't going until the 2nd or 3rd round.
Wow.
It's hard to remember, but I mean, it's true because Saquon had so many weird years in New York. People were worried, can he stay healthy for a full season? All this stuff.
Earlier I said how my wife had Saquon and Justin Jefferson. That's true. She, the year prior, she had Justin Jefferson in round 1 as her keeper.
Yeah.
So she took him in at position 8, and then first pick of round 2, she took Saquon.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There you go.
And she won last year, just so you know.
Love that.
Yeah, beat Victor.
Go Dom.
Yeah, beat Victor.
Dominique. I bought into Saquon last year.
Yeah.
I was terrified, but I felt like he was going to smash, and he did.
Yeah.
So I don't normally get things right. That one I got right. And then I traded him again away this offseason.
Oh my gosh.
So the big thing here is Saquon played out of his mind last year, otherworldly statistically. Like, it was just to have a season like he had to be a complete outlier, which is a thing that doesn't happen often. So to bet on that happening again, is very rare to happen again. So I'm just going with common statistics that he's probably not going to be as good as he was last year. Listen to this. He had 11 touchdowns from at least 10 yards out last year. He had 7 touchdowns from at least 60 yards last year. 60 plus yards. 7 touchdowns from 60 plus yards.
I mean, a lot of running backs don't even get 7 touchdowns.
They might not even get a 60-yarder all year.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think Bijan's broken a 60-yarder his whole career.
Yeah.
So, like, the only guy maybe doing that is Jahmyr Gibbs. So the 7 of them is crazy. It's crazy. And so, once again, outlier season. 350 carries last year, over that, I think, and a lengthy injury history. So I'm not saying he's going to get injured, but there's a lot of tread on the tires. Played a lot in college, played a lot in the NFL. The team is also, really excited about Will Shipley, their backup running back. He'll be the RB2.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're probably going to deploy him more, which is good, to try to save Saquon for a playoff push. I think the team overall as a whole is going to regress to the mean. They went from like 600 something pass attempts per game in 2023, or not per game, for the season, 600 something pass attempts for the season, down to like 530 last year.
Wow.
Which is way less. And they were running the ball a ton more. That's not a thing that's very sticky. Their offensive coordinators changed. I think they're going to throw the ball more, which means that Saquon, maybe he could get more receptions, but most likely Hurts being a mobile quarterback, he's going to throw to his receivers. And so I just don't think that him being top 4, top 5 is worth the cost of admission. I think taking a Jamar Chase, a CeeDee Lamb, a Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan, even Justin Jefferson, even Ashton Jeanty, I'd be willing to take all those guys over Saquon.
Wow.
You could even convince me Drake London over Saquon.
Wow.
I just
I'm not going to try.
And I love Saquon. I love him. This is not all my takes. Like, I put Saquon, Garrett Wilson, Marvin Harrison. These are all players I love.
Yeah.
That's why I put them on this list, because I'm testing my own, integrity to the game.
Yeah.
I don't hate these guys. I love them, actually. I've had all of them on my fantasy teams at some point or the other. I just don't see it aligning well for them this year, realistically. And I think that, you should be cautious with these guys.
Yeah.
So that's my take on Saquon. I think Saquon's probably a late round first pick rather than an early first round pick.
Okay.
So,
but so like, how many teams? So if you're saying like late round, are you saying like 12 overall?
Yeah. 10, 12.
Wow.
So second rounder in like 8-man, 10-man leagues. Yeah. I mean, I could see people taking Brian Thomas Jr. over him, Malik Neighbors.
Wow.
Like, I could see it. And here's the thing too. It also has to do with the running back landscape as a whole.
Yeah.
In team building philosophy. Like, you can get Travion Henderson and Marion Hampton, Devin Achane, Josh Jacobs, Kyron Williams. Like, if Saquon goes back to being normal, he's going to put up a Kyron Williams stat line from last year, which is great. Yeah. It's great. But at a first round cost, that's not what you want. It's just my only pushback to that is, like, you said their new OC might come in and tell them to throw the ball more. Yeah. But if you look at last year, like, why would you change anything at all? Like, why would you go? It worked. Yeah. Right. Just relying on Saquon, to run the ball 350 times in a season, and just let him go wild. Like, why would you do anything different? Like, I can understand if, a couple weeks into it, people are just really loading the box and like Saquon's not doing anything, so they're forced to throw. Like, then I kind of understand. But I mean, Saquon has shown us
for years under a terrible Giants team that he can still be productive, despite a terrible team around him.
Right.
So I don't know. I have a hard time getting on board with this.
So so my bet is not that he's not going to be good.
Yeah.
I still think he's probably going to run, I think minimum 1,200 yards, if not a little bit more.
But you're saying just not like a top 5.
He ran for 2,000 yards last
year.
You know, he almost broke the single season record for most rushing yards in a year. So that's my fade.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
If he doesn't hit that 2,000 yards, if he comes down to 1,500,
yeah,
you know, he's going around Derrick Henry prices.
Yeah.
You know, Derrick Henry is that price. Derrick Henry's going late first round. So that's my bet. You know, I think that a lot of these bigger touchdowns, he's not going to get 7. You know, maybe he'll get 4, you know, and then maybe he doesn't get 200 yards a game 3 times out of the year.
Yeah.
Maybe he gets 140, which is still good. I'm not saying he's a bad pick, and that's where it's clickbaity. You know, I'm not saying he's a bad player, but I'm more interested in taking guys, and especially in the top 5. I'd rather take McCaffrey over him.
Yeah.
Because McCaffrey doesn't need to run for 2,000 yards because he'll run for 1,200, but then also tag on 600, 700, 800 yards receiving.
Yeah.
You know, that's 2,000 combined.
You know, that first round is very interesting. I am more bullish on wide receivers this year, I think. Whereas typically I'm, you know, it's the running backs because there are so few like powerhouse running backs. Yeah, it's really interesting. And, you know, the other day I was like, Jameer is obviously the number 1, right? Because that's who you picked too. And you were like, how did you know that?
Yeah.
I actually had the number 1 overall pick, and I went Jamar.
Chase. Yeah.
I took Jamar.
Yeah.
And then in my second league, I got the second overall pick. He took, who did he
Bijan?
take? He took Bijan, I think. Yeah. Okay. And then I took Jamar again.
That's so
sick. I took him back to back.
Oh, that's so sick. Yeah.
But I skipped over Jameer, which is interesting because like when push came to shove, I thought I was going to pick Jameer, but I went, I mean, my gut was, you know, go wide receiver.
It feels a lot better when you go Jamar and then come back around and get like Josh Jacobs in the second versus, you know, starting with Jameer and then getting like T. Higgins.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'd rather have Jamar and Josh Jacobs or Kyron Williams.
Yeah.
You know, you're not going to go wrong with Jamar.
Yeah, definitely.
So that is our targets and fades for the 2025 fantasy football season. I hope this has been
really. We got one more.
Oh, we got another.
We got a last minute question. Who are y'all higher on this season, Mike Evans or Kyron Williams? You know my answer.
I'm with you. Say it together. Dude, 1, 2, 3. Mike Evans.
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
Oh my god. No. Big Kyron Williams for sure. God, man, you scared me. I didn't even answer. Wow.
Kyron Williams. Mike Evans is still good, but he's getting old. Long in the tooth, as Trey said earlier.
He's getting old.
He was force-fed to get 1,000 yards last year.
Yeah, he barely got it.
They had to feed him to get him over the mark.
Yep. And then we talked at length about Emeka Egbuka.
Yes.
This guy is going to explode this year.
Yeah.
And I just think that's going to dip heavily into Mike Evans' production.
Yep.
He could still probably get 1,000 yards just to keep that record going.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't, I'm not going to be surprised at all.
Yeah. No.
Kyron Williams, Pharaoh, I don't know if this is your first time you're listening to us. I'm a big Kyron Williams fantasy guy.
Yeah.
Like big.
I was surprised he wasn't your secret guy.
Well, I feel like that's too easy.
It's too easy.
Yeah, it's too easy. Yeah. But Kyron Williams is a staple. I've said that before. He's been a staple on my team for years, like last 3 or 4 years, whatever it's been. I'm bigger on him for sure.
For sure. Yeah. Kyron's just in a steady work zone. He's still young. He's like 25.
Yeah.
So like
Stafford loves him.
Stafford loves him.
Like
Sean McVay loves him.
Yeah.
He loves him so much that he drafted Blake Corum because he looks like Kyron Williams. And Blake Corum's not good. No. So if anybody's gonna be a threat to Kyron, it's gonna be Jarquez Hunter. But it's Kyron Williams' backfield. It's his world. We're all living in it. Definitely take Kyron Williams over Mike Evans.
Plus, especially, I kind of mentioned this a second ago. Like the running backs are more sparse than like a quality wide receiver is. I mean, Cam's been talking for an hour and a half about how you can get quality receivers like mid rounds, like late rounds. So I would replace Mike Evans and take a tried and true Kyron Williams,
and then go get Ibuka and
go get Egbuka.
Take him in the 6th.
Yeah,
he goes in the 8th. Take him 2 rounds early.
Yep. Just go get your guy.
You're gonna be fine.
If you're thinking I need a Mike Evans replacement, you're gonna
get Egbuka.
Yeah, instead of like round 4, take him in round 6.
You'll be way happier with that than you will drafting Mike Evans and then whatever running backs. I think it's like Tony Pollard.
Yeah,
around the time of and Tony Pollard I do like this year, but like DeAndre Swift, like these aren't guys you really want on your team as like a feature guy. So I love that. Kyron Williams. Is there anybody else?
I don't see.
Just make sure before we start to sign off.
Guys,
this has been fun.
Thank you guys for commenting and like adding to the discussion.
Absolutely.
We love this. You're going live tomorrow?
Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay. So Thursday night we'll be live, probably closer to like 8:30 p.m. Me and Dom Orico, our Bears writer. Alex Percy, our Patriots writer, and Logan. I don't know how to say his last name.
I think it's Lazarchik.
Lazarchik.
I think that's how you say it.
Who does he cover?
The Chiefs.
Chiefs. That's right. So us 3 are planning to hop on and do a mock draft show. So we're gonna hop in a draft, a redraft draft. We're gonna go through probably as many rounds as we can. Probably get through like 10. Maybe we'll get through the whole thing. And just comment on who we pick and why we're picking them there, and just give you guys some more fantasy football content. So I'll be running the stream. If you guys got questions, then feel free to ask. That's gonna be a good one because we're gonna be able to give takes on lots of guys. So really excited about that. So Thursday,
you have to expose your secrets like mid-draft too.
That's
why you did this. And
the good thing is most of my drafts are almost over. I got my brother-in-law's draft, which is a really weird one. It's a 2 quarterback, 2 kicker, 2 defense.
Oh my gosh!
Quarterbacks get a point per 15 yards rather than 25. So they score a ton. So like Joe Burrow is like the best quarterback in that draft. And I always come so close to winning and just end up so far. Something dumb happens. Jalen Hurts 2 years in a row has been injured in the playoffs.
Dang.
So that sucks. But I'll reveal all my secrets. So
so subscribe so you get that notification, or
absolutely
click that bell, when they go live on Thursday.
So
really
subscribe. Cool. Like we said earlier, go follow us on our socials, FanFeed Network. If you like this video, if you like the fantasy football content, give us a like, let us know in the comments below.
Maybe we'll do more.
Maybe we'll do more throughout the season. Maybe we'll start cooking something up for you guys, but
if you missed it, we're going to be going live twice a week starting next week. It's first week of the NFL season. Thursdays, we'll be going live 7 p.m. Eastern, about an hour and 15 minutes, 20 minutes before kickoff. And we'll probably take you right up to kickoff. And then on Sundays,
and seeing how long we are.
We'll
try not to.
It might go a little bit into the game. We'll see. And then Sundays, we're doing the same thing right after the afternoon games. We're going to take you right up into the Sunday night game. So, we're real excited. Football's here, baby. Week 0,
here.
baby.
We're ready.
Let's go.
So, all right, guys. Well, that's everything we got for tonight. Hopefully this has been helpful, and good luck this weekend and all your drafts. And we will see you next time.
Peace.
See ya. That's pretty good.